call out the goats, we celebrate the lions. We expose the Ojelus, we honor the Oshelus. Politics, economy, business, sports, life. If it matters to Nigeria, we tackle it head on. Raw truth, brutal honesty, zero apologies. This show is not for the faint-hearted. Welcome to Banwo Unplugged and Unscripted No Spin Zone. You enter at your own risk. Let's go. Let's do this, people. Welcome again. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, wherever you are. It's going to be a doozy of a show today because I've got three powerful individuals in the studio with me as we take down the topic of today, which we are going to be. I'm going to be exposing as soon as we get started in the show today. For those just tuning in, of course, you are tuning into Banwo live, unscripted, and on whatever. So today we are going to be talking about Nigeria's dangerous love affair with English soccer, so to speak, because something I've been speaking about for a few days now, and now those who can call me out, those who can challenge my conclusions, they are right in the studio. But before we start, of course, I got to have my soliloquy here. I remember a time when Nigerian football made our hearts race, a time when Enugu Rangers, ICC Shooting Stars, Bendel Insurance, Iwayamu National were not just clubs, they were empires. When stadiums thundered with pride, not echoes as we get today. When children didn't dream of being Ronaldo, they wanted to be Rashidi Yekini. They wanted to be Segun Degbami. They wanted to be Stephen Keshi. But today, our stadiums are empty. Our heroes are forgotten. Our jerseys are replaced with Arsenal, Chelsea, Man U, and shirts made from China. We cry when Liverpool loses, but we feel nothing when Enyimba wins. What happened to us? Who stole our football? Who stole our football soul? Was it the media? Was it the sports broadcasters? Was it the politicians? Was it the fans? Or was it the foreign gods we bow to on cable TV? Or did we kill it ourselves with apathy, greed, and forgetfulness? Tonight, we dig through the grave of Nigerian football, not just to mourn, but to ask the only question that truly matters. Can we bring it back? Not for nostalgia, but for national pride, for youth empowerment, for economic revival, for the spirit of Nigeria. When I come back, we are going to be breaking it all down with three of the best in the game who know what it's all about. But before I bring them on, of course, people always wonder, why are Nigerians abroad? Why are the diaspora? Why are they all obsessed about what is happening in Nigeria? Why don't we just stay there and enjoy our life? Why do we keep putting mouth in Nigerians since they cannot understand the love affair that those of us abroad still have for our country? And as Donald Trump keeps reminding us, the only country we really have is Nigeria, no matter what passport we have. I have a blue passport, but I don't feel as if I belong here. I feel that Nigeria is still my home. So we have to all work together to make Nigeria a better place, to make Nigeria great again, so that we can be proud to either come back home fully or to be proud to enter plane and say, I'm going home to have fun. That is why we do this. But because people may not really understand it, I put my emotion into a song. And I got my digital musician called Mugu Prince to perform it for me. And I want you to enjoy with me tonight the song that I sang for diaspora, our love-hate relationship with our country of birth, before we go into the game tonight. I call it Muguland Forever because I use the acronym Muguland to represent Nigeria to avoid all the fight about people saying I defamed them or whatever. But it's the love-hate relationship between us, Nigerians, and our country. Even those of us who live in Nigeria, we have this same love-hate relationship, especially those of us in the diaspora. Enjoy. And when we come back, we unpack to this topic.
Muguland forever, though you break my heart, I can't run away, no matter how hard. Through the pain, the struggle, I'm still holding tight. Mugulan forever, you are my love, my fight. 5 years in school, now I'm stuck in the rain. A degree in my hand, but no job to gain. I try to move on, but I keep looking back. Mugulan, you've got me still on track. Records breaking that for a little pain. Enough to survive, but we live day to day. I could hate you for all of the tears we cry, but Mugulan, you've got my soul in the sky. Mugulan forever. Though you break my heart, I can't run away, no matter how hard. Through the pain, the struggle, I'm still holding tight. Mugulan forever, you're my love, my fight. Leaders who promise but never come through. We suffer in silence till we push through. We scream out in anger but it fades in the air. Yeah, Mugulan's in my veins, I can't leave you there. The roads are rough, the power's never on. Floods hit our homes but somehow we're strong. I dream of a life in a faraway land, but Mugulan, you're the home I can't disband. Mugulan forever. Though you break my heart, I can't run away, no matter how hard. Through the pain, the struggle, I'm still holding tight. Mugulan forever, you're my love, my fight. We curse and we cry, we say that we're done, but when the day's over, you're still the one. We try to escape, but we carry you too. Mugulan, Mugulan, I belong to you. Your rivers, your skies, your streets full of pain. Somehow they call me back again. I love you, I hate you, I can't walk away. Mugulan, you own my heart every day. Mugulan forever. Though you break my heart, I can't run away, no matter how hard. Through the pain, the struggle, I'm still holding tight. Mugulan forever, you're my love, my fight. Mugulan forever. Though you break my heart, I can't run away, no matter how hard. Through the pain, the struggle, I'm still holding tight. Mugulan forever, you're my love, my fight. The pain, the struggle, I'm still holding tight. Mugulan forever, you're my love, my fight.
There we go, there we go. Mugulan forever. I love you, I hate you, but I can't leave you alone. That is exactly how many of us feel about Nigeria. But with me in the studio tonight, we are going to be unpacking one of the issues that I believe Nigeria really needs to address, our dangerous love affair with English soccer, how Arsenal, Liverpool, Man U, and Chelsea stole our nation's soul, and how we can get it back as part of the larger plan that we at Nigeria Lives Matter likes to push for a make Nigeria great again. If America can have MAGA, we can have manga. Make Nigeria great again. And as part of it, one of the things that is the bedrock of our greatness used to be sports, at least soccer especially. And we want to talk about bringing them back. So with me tonight, and if you are joining us from home, please, if you can make comments. Some of you have authorized for your comment to show. I'll be able to see it in the studio. You have to click some kind of button to be able to make comment wherever you are watching us from. Right now, we are live on Facebook, and hoping that my guests will also share the link on their own profiles. But I think it's live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. We're even live on LinkedIn, and we are live on Twitter. But wherever you are watching this, if you make a comment, I'll be able to see most of it in the studio so that we can also involve you in this conversation tonight. So without much ado, with me in the studio tonight are three of the best in the game. All of them I respect a lot because they speak their mind and they know Nigerian soccer. I don't know about soccer much. I'm going to be very honest with you. I still thought that this guy is still playing for Chelsea. What's his name again? This guy from Nigeria. I thought he was still playing for Chelsea. They told me he left Chelsea like 10 years ago. So I don't know much about British soccer. They know because it's their job. It's what they do every day. Soccer is what they live, what they breathe. So they are in a better position to actually enlighten us tonight. I'm just going to be a lightning rod, basically dragging them and hoping that they can give us answers. One of the people with me tonight is engineer Ken Ochonogor. He's a media consultant on Chamnels TV. Those of you who listen to sports, you know him very well. He's the anchor of Channel Sports Sunday and CEO of Sportsgate. And of course, he's a working encyclopedia of global sports with deep roots in Nigerian football. So I was so excited when my guy was able to bring him on. I think he just popped out of the studio, with the light that we have. I was about to bring him on, but it's not there anymore. But he's going to be back. He was here. He's been here for the last 15 minutes as I got set. So he's going to be back. I'm sure of it. And of course, I also have with me the CEO of Boom Radio and a passionate supporter of the legendary sports stationary sport. Oh my God. That is the sport, that's the club of my childhood hero and uncle, Babajimi. My very first game in the world in the stadium was watching stationary stores and watching Aruna Lyrica score, and I won Role. I can never forget. I was like 9 years old. He scored a last minute goal and they started singing Aruna Dakunjowo. So I'm so excited that Sola Rogers is a supporter of the stationary stores and is known for his deep insights in the game, and he brings it every week. Welcome to the show, Mr. Sola Rogers. I'm glad to have you tonight.
Thank you very much. The pleasure is actually all mine. And I'm glad you sang that song, Aruna Dakunjowo.
I can never forget.
It runs deep. It's the culture that
yes.
What you have today was built on. It came from an era where nobody knew anything about any foreign team. They were there, but only for the people who were playing pool. Where they used to talk about Palm 1 and Nap 1. When
Sola, before we get into it, let's bring in the other guests so that we can make this thing a blockbuster deal. The third guest with me on the show tonight is actually the one that put it together for me tonight. I call him Jimmy Carto, but his real name is Babajimi Ogunlana. He's a sports enthusiast, has been one of my biggest supporters and proteges for so many years. Is the CEO of Motiva Sports and founder of the Footprints to Greatness, a youth empowerment initiative that is doing through sports, with me actually kicking him and encouraging him. And I'm so glad that he's actually putting together. Welcome with me, the great Jimmy Carto. Jimmy, how you doing?
Coaching of life. Coaching of life. It's really a pleasure to be here. I mean, on the stage with some of my big boss, my mentors, and also actually three. From Banwo, Dr. Banwo, Uncle Ken. I mean, it's really a pleasure to be here. I feel honored. I'm privileged to be on the same stage with you all. And like SR did say just now, I mean, I am a big stationary store supporter too.
Really?
And I know Dr. Banwo. Yeah, I mean, there was a time on G-Stars where you stumbled upon a room and you were so surprised to see me talk about domestic football. You were really, really excited.
Yes.
So since then, I knew, okay, Doctor is not just a Chelsea fan. He's somebody that takes deep interest in the Nigerian game. And it's so exciting to have you put this together. I mean, this is one of the ways you can make Nigeria great again. We are supposed to be not only a sports-loving country, but a very dominant force when it comes to sports globally. So thank you for having us, Doctor.
All right. Well, let's get to the firework. Mommy, I don't do as your father, as your mother, as your wife. We get straight to the game. Let's go. My very first question, actually, I'm going to give both of you opportunity to answer it, but I'm targeting Sola Rogers directly first because it's one I'm getting for the first time on my show. See, sports journalists like you guys, you especially, you have spent years analyzing British football for Nigerians. See, as will you say that sports broadcasters like you have helped us to feed this national obsession with foreign leagues. What do you say to that? Hasn't the sports broadcasters helped to feed this national obsession with foreign leagues?
Yeah, it's a two-way street. And there's the bandwagons, the people who believe that they have to give the fans what they think they want. And the other group, which I belong to, that believe that you set the agenda. You're the one that puts it out. So everything has become commercialized to the point where it is about income. So the owners of media platforms would rather go with something that will give them more eyeballs or more ears and more clicks than what they perceive to be otherwise. But it's not the real story. The real story is that you are not giving anything special because you are lazy. You are not giving anything special because you just want to jump on a ready-made product. I was still having a discussion in the place where we are a few minutes ago about how in the 80s we went to the stadium and the jerseys were branded with sponsors and the stadiums were packed even on weekdays. So we let the rot in because it became commercialized and people wanted the low-hanging fruits.
Okay, fair enough. Jimmy K. So, Jimmy C. rather. So, I muted you because we are getting feedback when SR was talking. That's how we're going to do. If you're not talking, you can just mute yourself so that way we don't have feedback. All right, I'll let you weigh in on this one. 2 minutes.
Okay, so I agree with SR basically. It has to do with being unconventional. Like what you do on your show is absolutely unconventional. It's unplugged. Nobody's gonna tell you how you're gonna do your thing. So if you really need to make, Nigerian sport, Nigerian football work, we have to go it the non-conventional way. It's not by following the bandwagon by saying, "Oh, this is what the people want." You have to set the agenda, and that's what FR was trying to say. Basically, if you set the agenda, then people will begin to believe in your cause. Because most times, I think that, those of us in the media, we at times forget the fact that, whatever we put out there, with the strength of what we do believe in, the way we turn it out is exactly why people want to follow you because you are setting the agenda. So most times you just realize that, sportscasters, they want to go with the flow. More like, oh, I need to talk about Arsenal, I need to talk about Chelsea because that's what's trending. They don't want to be as dynamic as, researching what's happening on the domestic front. And if you don't do that, you are losing, a large chunk of your followership that you should rather carry along to make them realize that, look, we have the patriotic front to protect. So, like FRBC, it's very important to understand that it's not just about the bandwagon thing. There must be a balance, that you try to ensure that you are following what your fans want, but also, as much as possible, what do you do for the national cause? We should talk about strategic national interest. What exactly?
Before we come to that, Jimmy Carto, because you spent more than the 2 minutes I gave you, so sorry for always coming. That's what makes this show interesting. Don't worry, you can also come back at me too. We want to make sure it's not over structured. Let's just have fun.
Yeah, you had a lot of bad.
I'm not going to let Sola just escape my show like that. I'm still going to press a little bit on this topic. See, I believe, influence comes with responsibility. Right? The people watch and listen to what the influencers influence them to what and to say. But what you are saying is that you guys are trying to give the people what they want. When sometimes influencers should be forcing what people should watch. Is what you put in front of me. So my next question is still related to the first one. This is for SR. Would you agree that sports journalists have betrayed Nigerian football by glorifying foreign leagues more than our own, or you don't agree? If you don't agree, why don't you agree? If you agree, why do you agree? Oh, Mr. Ken is back. He's the one I'm even targeting a lot tonight. He's here. Go ahead, SR. I heard I said
So,
that's ghost man. So,
so again,
yes.
again, it's the same answer that I gave earlier that comes back. There is a large chunk of people who are doing this thing that you're saying, and they are our colleagues, they are our friends, they are our brothers. But maybe this was deliberate. Ken Ochonogor here, Jimmy Carto here, and myself, and so many other people have pushed the local agenda for so long. I am one of the few sports journalists that you cannot say support a foreign club. So I cannot take what they are doing wrong and bear the brunt for it.
See.
Nobody can come on air and say Sola Rogers is an Arsenal fan, or is a Man United fan, or a Chelsea fan. It was a deliberate effort by myself.
Wow, I didn't know that. So you are not one of those fans of the Premier League. Interesting.
I do. I support the Premier League, but I will not promote the Premier League.
Thank you. I get that. Yeah.
I will analyze the Premier League. I will not promote it.
All right. Well, what about Mr. Ken Ochonogor? They say you are a promoter of foreign league and you have not promoted Remo Stars, who have been winning. Mr. Ken, what's going on? I don't wait now. Let me trigger the man now. Ava, wait for me now. I want to trigger him. Mr. Ken, here is the question for you, sir. Won't you agree that sports journalists like you have betrayed Nigerian football by glorifying foreign leagues more than our own? You have to unmute yourself on your end, though, because I'm trying to unmute you. It's not working. I think you are muted. I don't know why. Okay, so you muted yourself on your end. So you have to unmute yourself to be able to, for us to hear you, sir. Or unless you are not ready now. I know I can see that you are still moving. You have to unmute, sir, if you can hear me. You muted yourself. You have to unmute yourself. I think the man is still having a meeting with somebody out there. So we will let him have a breather before we come back to him. Looks like he's still sorting out the last deal. So I'll take him off the stage for a minute. But I hear you, Ken, and I want to appreciate you for that, SR. I didn't know that you actually don't, like I said, I am not an avid follower of sports myself in Nigeria or soccer, but I felt that it's one of those things that can bring back our national pride. And since we are saying it live, those who can call you guys, if you are watching him and he's bullshitting me here, I need you guys to actually comment, and I'll put it up on screen for him to hear. All right? Andy Chiku, I hear you said, how can I do a podcast background like this? It's not complicated. I'm using a tool called StreamYard. It's a great tool, StreamYard.com. They even have a free account if you want to use it, although I'm using the paid one, but the free one is good enough for a 30-minute broadcast. So that's it. I'm not doing any magic. Then when you get in there, you just configure your studio the way you want it, and I did a lot of work configuring my studio. But let's go back to the issue here. All right. So Mr. Rogers has cleaned himself. He says it's not part of them. But Jimmy Carto, you are part of them. I've watched your show. You are part of them. So don't tell me. I may not know about SR, but you have followed. Why? Why are you glorifying foreign soccer by not promoting Remo Stars and Eyimba of Aba? Why? You have to unmute. Okay, I've unmuted.
Okay, so I can attest to the fact that SR has never promoted any other brand.
Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. No, speak for yourself.
No, I know. I mean, I've been on his shows. So I know for real. Now, for Engineer Ken and myself, because I mean, he's my big oga, and I can tell you for free that we do what we can call a proper balancing. A proper balancing in the sense that most of those that we actually do bring on the show, on our show, basically are promoters of the domestic game. And we're not just talking about football here, we're talking about all sports. When it comes to indigenous sports, we are heavy promoters of indigenous sports. So it's not as if we go out there to just talk about Arsenal, Chelsea. We must strike a balance. For example, the sort of station channel is, and you don't want a situation whereby you are not able to create that sort of balance. So I think it's a fine balance. We do promotion of the indigenous game. In fact, for the last episode of Channel Sports Sunday, it was so heavy on Commissioner, the owner of Remo Stars, because that was 59.
Great job. All right, since everybody's denying, nobody's responsible. Only the sportscasters. I will go and look for those who are there. But let's start to take this thing because we are starting gradual. I'm going deeper here. All right, here is a thought, because I keep hearing this. Okay, if the foreign leagues ban Nigerian viewership today, do you, and this is first to SR as usual, do you think Nigerian football will survive, or as sports media help kill the passion permanently? I know it's not you. I know you are saying it's not you, but what do you think? Now I'm still waiting for Mr. Ken to get settled before I'm looking at him. He's still not settled down, so I'll bring him up when he's ready. But go ahead, SR. Oh, sorry, let me unmute.
You're muted.
You have to unmute yourself. Remember to
okay.
Unmute. Yes,
I didn't get the early part of your question. If someone bans something,
yes, it's even on the screen. If the foreign leagues, if they ban Nigerian viewership today, do you think Nigerian football will survive, or our sports media kill the passion for Nigerian soccer permanently? I don't know, but you will know.
Okay. If they ban Nigerian viewership,
yes,
will Nigerian football survive? Maybe not.
Interesting.
Maybe not. Because that's not the problem. They are not the problem. Nigerian companies are sponsoring foreign teams. Nigerians are buying into the frenzy.
So they will not take that money
and bring it to us. The money that they want to give Arsenal and Man United, they're not going to give it to us. So if they ban Nigerian viewership, will it help? No, it won't. There's no basis, because they're not the same. And it's multi-pronged. On the part of the owners of the football clubs, how well have they built their brands? We want the banks to buy in. There was a Nigerian bank that was one of the major sponsors of a foreign brand in UK, in the Premier League. And they were flaunting it over us. There was another one, a telecoms company, one of the biggest telecoms companies in Nigeria. You sign a deal with a football club in the UK. Even when the club had lost some of those players, if you watch their billboards, they have the old images, they are still there. And you're paying them millions of dollars and pounds for it. And do you know why I don't blame them? Because everybody identifies with those brands. Those people built their brands. So rather than castigate the foreign clubs and the foreign brands, build your own so that they can buy into it. The richest man in Africa wants to buy a foreign club. He has the money.
Yeah, okay, and we are going to get there. We're going to get
a fraction of that.
Yes,
will save his hometown club and make it global.
And I agree. So,
but I will not teach him how to spend his money. So I have an open mind because I've done marketing, I have done administration, I do reportage, so I can balance my thoughts, and I will not rant and say they should know. On the other side, the administrators of our leagues, do they stick strictly to the rules that they put there?
We are coming there.
Is it on point?
You are rushing. We are coming there. The question is a very simple thing. I'm asking your opinion as a sports broadcaster, and you have given it. I hear you. Your point here is that it is not the fault of foreign thing, and I agree with you. By the way, we shouldn't be expecting Arsenal to come and grow our soccer. Okay, we need to build our brand. But I'm still, my first 4 questions is actually putting the journalists on the spot. So flow with me here. We are going to get to the other people that are responsible. So I want to keep it on point because I still have another set of questions still on this issue. Okay, because those of us watching at home, we need to get a clear idea so that we can separate the issues. I have a question though that is not even here. Are you saying that Nigerian corporate bodies or like multi-choice of this world, they don't sponsor sportscasters to talk or to speak about a Nigerian soccer at all? They don't spend any money there. Is that what you're saying?
No, if I say that, then I'll be wrong.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that, and let me use myself as an example again.
Yes.
All the sports programs that I have presented on radio,
yes,
I always do local stories first. And the reason why I do that is that there's a frenzy at the beginning. Everybody wants to listen. Oh, they think I'm going to talk about Messi and Ronaldo. I will. But not after I have spoken about Kano Pillars and Rivers United.
Okay.
But
all
guess
right.
what?
Yes.
But guess what? Just hear me out, sir. The problem here is that when I go marketing to say, I have this program, we have a large listenership and blah, 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 blah. They said, we know you have all of that. But the problem here is you are not pushing this other agenda. So we can't give you what you ask for. You can't give me what I ask for. If I'm asking you that my program is worth 10 million naira per quarter, you'll be offering me 1 million. You give my colleague that is doing the Manchester and the Arsenal 10 million. And that is our reality. So the owners of the brand, because I am blessed that I own my platforms or I've always been buoyant one way or the other, I can take this risk. But the people who would put their own families ahead and say, how am I going to feed my children? Look, it's clear now, even when you buy the newspaper, sports is at the back. When they are doing news, sports is the last segment. Sports has always been seen as an addendum that can be done away with. Only when they have agenda that they're key into sports. I'm talking about politicians and business people. So you're already at a disadvantage if you are a sports journalist.
All right,
so
all right. I gave you 5 minutes to talk. We don't have 5 minutes for every answer. Because you are the point I'm still making here. You are already going to what you think is the problem, because you are exculpating the sports journalists. And I hear you, at least on your own level, nobody's called you out there that you are lying. Okay, but here is my question still on this point, because I'm very systematic. We are going to get to government. We are going to get to corporate bodies. But right now, the sportscasters are the ones I want to put under pressure here. And I'll let Jimmy go on this one first. Then, Shola, you also weigh in. Would you agree that Premier League is the new colonial master and the Nigerian sports journalists have become willing promoters of this colonization? Or you think they don't have a choice? Or you think that they are just, what exactly are they? They are the ones that are interfacing with us. And all we hear, most of them, maybe with the exception of people like Shola Rogers, is them promoting Premier League. Are you saying it's because of hunger? Shola said something very important now, that maybe because I have my own platform, that's why he has his own mouth to decide to do what he wants to do. Are you saying that is the issue? That is all part of the larger issue of being broke, that why our sports broadcasters seem to be propagating this colonial mentality? This is still on you. Over to you now, Mr. Carto. I'll give you 2 minutes or 3 minutes to weigh on that. Go ahead.
Okay, so I think Esther has done justice to this, basically because he talked about the fact that, you know, there is this bandwagon effect that it's all, having its ripple effect on the way the foreign game is being promoted.
Okay, listen,
And I
Mr.
think
Ken
also
is
that
available now. Let me bring him up.
okay.
All right, Mr.
I
Ken,
think
are
you
you
also have to
available now? Hold on, sorry, Jimmy, I'll come back to you. Mr. Ken, are you available now? I know you are trying to get yourself sorted. Yes, sir.
I'm here.
All right, fantastic. Okay, go ahead, Jimmy. Take just 2 minutes. Know there's 3 of us here, so that we can pass around this topic. Go ahead.
Okay, so basically, I feel it has to do more with the viability of the.
Our own product, the domestic game is supposed to be the major product. But when you have the alternative become the dominant product, there's absolutely nothing you can do. Because you have what, a lot of us would have loved to be a viable product. And that's why there's no way you talk about, what's happening with who are supposed to promote the game and not talk about how viable the product is. If the Nigerian game, the football game as it were, how viable is it? Why would investors want to come in? So I will not talk about the promoters without talking about the viability of the product itself. If the product is viable, then the promoters will come in. It's just about product positioning. How well have we positioned the product called the Nigerian football game? So if the product is not viable, the promoters, you cannot blame them when they are going for the alternative as against, strategically going for promotion of the domestic game. So that's my take on that.
All right, thank you so much. Well, we've got one of the baddest boys in the game in this game of soccer in Nigeria, Mr. Ken Ochonogor is here with us. Welcome, sir. I don't know if you want to weigh in on this question that we have on the table. That would you agree that Premier League is the new colonial master and that Nigerian sports journalists have become willing promoters of this colonization, or you disagree with that characterization? Over to you, sir.
I think that is just too simplistic, and then to put it at the doorstep of the Nigerian sport journalist, I don't think I will agree with that. I won't agree with that because Jimmy did talk about value. He did talk about what you derive. Why do you eat rice? Why do you eat amala? Whatever, that is the thing. Now, what value do you derive when you go to watch a Nigerian Premier League? What value do you derive? Let me state this fact. Only 40 Nigerians have played in the Premier League. Brazilian, as we speak now, we have about 33 players representing Brazil. About 142 Brazilians are playing, 122 are playing over there. That has not affected the Brazilian league. You talk about the value you are going to get, which one we are talking about here. Why do you go to this stadium? When you watch as a kid, you went to watch Haruna Ilerica. When we want to watch Christian Chukwu, when we watch Emmanuel Okala, when we want to watch Samuel Jebode, when we want to watch, these players there, you are watching value. Those who are managing the league were managing value. Those who are managing the clubs, not even the league. The league has little to do with the clubs. Sola Rogers, supports one of the greatest clubs, one of the first privately run club, in Nigeria, where if it is the supporters of the club that fund that thing. I have been privileged to see the card where they pay their 2 shillings every month to put into club it.
Mr. Ken.
Yes.
Stay on point here. All right, the question is a very simple one right now. We are systematic here. Trust me. I'm going to cover our bases.
Yeah.
The question is, are Nigerian sports journalists willing promoters of this colonization or not? So if they are
no. That is where I'm coming from. That is where I'm coming from. Yes. Okay. I've been listening to the other, what my other colleagues here, what they've been saying. That is what I'm talking about here. If you are one of those who have a print media in Nigeria, put anything Premier League or anything Nigerian league in the front page, or put a foreign league in the front page and see how much people they are going, how many people are going to buy your paper. The appetite has nothing to do. You give people what they want. That's what I'm telling you. So if you are running your show, if we have Channel Sport on Sunday, which we have been running for the past 21 years, and then we do local shows more than any other person. But how many people, depend on what what value bring, how want to watch when they tune in and say you are talking about Taraba United, or you are talking about whatever, because sports hasn't gotten just to do with just the top league. We go at the grassroots and try to bring it there. How many people will tune in and tune off when you are doing that? So it is the appetite of the people for you to survive in business. The sport writers have been paid salaries by the organization who depend on the patronage they get from the masses, from those who patronize them. So if people don't patronize them, how do they in any way got to survive as a body, as an entity, as an enterprise? It doesn't happen. So it is so simplistic for you to say we are willing tools in the hands of to making sure that it's in this world. When HITV did run the league, how did it go? How are we managing the clubs? Which club in Nigeria is professional? How many of them are not dependent on the government, on the taxpayers' money to run the club? That's what we are saying here. How many people? What do you bring in? So it is not. It is not the Nigerian sport journalists that we are talking about here. No, it is so simplistic.
You are saying that they are not willing promoters, but they are promoting because that's what they have. That is where we are here. You are saying that you are going to the issue of the brand that you have to promote, but let's leave that. I'll leave the public to judge our answers. I don't want it to be like I'm putting you guys on unnecessary spot here. Let's move to other issues. I wanted the first one to be on the broadcasters themselves, but now let's take this thing down a little bit, okay? Because you guys are acquitting yourself well. But the question I want to have, because Nigerian, I don't know much about soccer, and I'm not saying that because I'm being nice or trying to be modest. I really don't. So where I get it wrong, just call me on it and educate me, because me too, I want to learn, because I feel that sports is one of those things that can be a great pillar in the Make Nigeria Great Again agenda that my organization, Nigeria Lives Matter, wants to start pushing. So please educate me when I'm wrong. But the way I see this is that the Nigerian Football Federation, which is where we are going now, okay, that they are operating more like a corrupt cabal than a serious football authority. And so my question still a little bit on the journalists here. Why haven't journalists done more to expose them? Or are you going to tell me they are not corrupt? Okay, if they are corrupt, what are you doing to actually make sure we put them under stress, under pressure, by exposing them to do the right thing by our soccer? I'm going to let Mr. Shola Rogers take a first bite, 2 minutes, then we'll go to Mr. Ken, and then we'll go to Mr. Jimmy. Let's all have a bite at this question. In other words, everybody believes, and I may be wrong, it's for you to correct me, that the Nigerian Football Federation is more like a corrupt cabal that takes care of their own. And then my question to you, so that we're specific, is why, if this is true, why haven't journalists like you done more to expose them? If it is not true, then tell me it's not true, and tell me why you think it's not true. So it's a very specific question. Mr. Rogers, you got the first cut.
So it's not a matter of if it's true or not true. Okay. In my opinion, it's a matter of understanding football in itself. The football that you play today. Look, I'm at an event where there are people playing football now as we speak. If you are playing football at this street level, you're fine. You're okay. It's passion. But if you are playing organized and structured football, then you have to go by the FIFA statutes and structures. So what you call a cabal might seem like a cabal to you is the way football is structured globally. And if you are not a stakeholder, you might want to call it a cabal. You might want to say all
No. Shola, you are missing the point. The cabal there, I'm not even saying it in the negative sense. The operative word here that I want you to focus on with me is that those who are running, even if you take out the word cabal, I don't use the word, I'm a cabal when it comes to digital business. I belong to a group of people that do so. So I'm not using it in a negative sense. The operative word here is that, are they corrupt? Are they doing the right thing or not? Okay? If they are, why are you not exposing them enough? If they are not, tell me why you don't think they are corrupt. Why we are having, and I'll follow up questions on that. So go again. I'll give you another 2 minutes. So you face
exactly. It's still the same thing. That's why I'm saying that the way football is structured, there are international statutes and things that they build around it. And if you are going to operate in that setting, then it seems as if it's a system that everybody buys into. Remember when FIFA was being probed globally? It was because America took interest. I said, oh, why are these guys so powerful? Why are they doing these things? You know, and look at what happened. There was more or less like a global movement.
Mr. Rogers, I'm not addressing my question. I'm sorry.
No, I will address it. I will address it based on my knowledge.
Mr. Sola Rogers, I will
yes, please.
There's no spin here. You had it at the beginning. We don't do spin. The question is,
you think I'm trying to spin?
Oh, I think you are spinning, because the question is very clear. Is the Nigerian Football Federation corrupt or not? If they are corrupt, why are you and others not doing enough to expose them? If they are not, then tell us, no, you don't think they are corrupt.
If you are going to accuse someone of corruption, do you have proof that will stand in court? You want to accuse someone, you say, oh, this person is corrupt. Can you prove it?
I'm not asking you to accuse someone. It's an
no,
organization.
If I tell someone corrupt, that's an accusation. It's an allegation. Can I prove it? I am alleging that, oh, this person is corrupt. Can I go to court to say, yes, oh, you, NFF chairman, you are corrupt?
I didn't ask you to allege. I said, what do you think? Nobody can take you to court for your talks.
I already told you what I think. You said it's a spin. I would like to hear from Jimmy and
let me hear from Mr. Ochonogor. Do you think, I didn't say you should make an allegation. Do you think, from your own operations and experience in dealing with the Nigerian Football Federation, there is a corrupt organization? If you think so, then what have you done to be able to expose what you know? If you don't think it's corrupt, then explain to Nigerians, because, and I'm sincere about this, many of us sometimes, and Shola alluded to it a bit, and it's correct, that sometimes we sit in our bedrooms and then we just assume. We don't know. I've never called anybody in NFA. I've never even been to any Nigerian event, so I don't know. But you guys operate that. You operate in that industry. You will have your opinion about the matter. And that's why I'm asking. So that if really those who are practicing that don't believe there's any corruption, there is something else, then you tell us, no, I don't think they're corrupt. This is the problem we have. But I feel so. And if you press me, I'll tell you why I think it's corrupt. But I'm the one asking the question. So, Mr. Ken, I'm giving it to you. What do you think? Yes or no, and why?
There is no organization that you don't have corrupt elements.
Okay.
None. So, if I tell her that there are no corrupt elements in the NFF, then probably I'm just trying to defend. But Shola did say something. If you want to talk about corruption, you have to be specific. If you say the board is corrupt, is it the chairman of the board or whatever? But when you look at the structure of the NFF, and then various areas where people can, can corrupt the system, or where we have the referees committee, those who appoint referees, and how influential are they? We have, where, you can also go to the FA, and then probably a player wants to leave a club in Nigeria, and then, this transfer certificate is issued. Are you getting me? So basically, these are, you have to be specific on these areas. There have been times where people say monies were missing in the FA. But for people like us, I have no crusade against corruption. I have a crusade against competence. I have against if your corruption, what is meant for something is not being done. If money that is meant for something has affected it, then I can talk about that. But to say, okay, the NFF is corrupt, I believe, I must have evidence, I must have issues, I must have specifics for me to go to them and say, you guys are corrupt. We've not stopped, we have never failed in calling them out on our show at any point where we feel that things are supposed to be done differently. So there are areas where, like salaries of coaches are not being paid. There are areas where we say, okay, fine, allowances are not being paid. There are areas where players will go to play and their bonuses are not being paid. Have these bonuses been released? Where did it go? So basically, at that time, well, okay, fine. A player is supposed to be paid his bonuses in dollars, and then you say, okay, let us pay it in naira. Maybe price is what is done because it was given to them. Maybe the central bank gave to them in dollars or in nairas. So these are, but to me, the more crucial thing is how it affects development of football in Nigeria.
We are going to come back to that. Everything affects development of sports in Nigeria. If the association that is supposed to be in charge of it is corrupt, okay, it will affect the development. So that's why I'm talking about it first before I get to other issues. And I'm not the one calling it. Mr. Shalaro, as you can see, they are calling you right there. They are dodging the question. You see what they said here? And it is true. Let me be specific now, okay? Now, Mr. Ken said a lot of stuff.
They are allowed, everybody's allowed their opinion.
Yes, of course.
I don't have a problem with Mr. Rogers is dodging the question. Mr. Rogers is a professional broadcaster. Mr. Rogers will not say what he doesn't know.
Wait now, I hear you, sir.
I have been one of the biggest critics of these guys, but it's based on facts and figures, not on conjecture.
And so, exactly, sir. So if you have facts and figures, and you should be able to call it corrupt or no corrupt. For instance, Mr. Ken mentioned, because all of you are dodging, but by calling them out. But he himself, from what he just said now, he mentioned 4 things that it shows that they are corrupt. They don't pay the players their allowances that have been approved. They don't pay to them the dollars they're supposed to be given. What is corruption if it's not that? With all due respect. But you don't want to.
I did say there are allegations. I did say there are allegations. I have not said this is what they are doing or what they are not. I said there have been allegations about such things. So, like we are saying, if it is not proven, if you've not come out, if it's only allegation, then you cannot say they are corrupt, which is what I am standing on. I have not said they are corrupt. I said these are allegations that are propped up once in a while. Basically that, but like I said, that is the thing. I have not said anybody that they are corrupt. Like I said, if you don't have your facts, you can't call anybody corrupt. You can't call anyone corrupt. Let us be clear. Let us be clear on this. Very, very clear on this. Yes.
Mr. Ken, is it a lie that some people, and we can call the names, I'm going to get you the names now, who were not paid their allowances and who complain officially? And you say it doesn't exist? Or where our people go for competition and they're not giving their allowance, they talk in public.
Yes, there are. There are. The late Pa Izilian who took the Falcons to South Africa, for the AFCON, his allowances were not given until he died. I interviewed him when he was 80-something years old last year. The FA, have not given him his money. So it is there on public domain. The interview is there. He told the whole world. He said he met the former president of the FA. He met the former deputy governor of Edo State. He asked all of them to give, and they didn't do it. There is also yes. So basically, so you hear what I'm saying. That there are issues. But it is not broad-based. You bring out the specifics and then push it in. That is not the said an organization is corrupt. That's what I'm trying to point out here. That when the specifics are out, we take it. But to paint the whole organization as corrupt is not what I am saying. I have not said so, and it is not so.
Okay, fair enough. Again, that is part of the problem, the way I see it. And again, Mr. Rogers, you can see that you have both people on both sides speaking for you. Those who are appreciating you for being professional, you are. And I appreciate that. Okay, but people, we call it, the gentleman that is called, in fact, Tony Abuli is even my friend. I know it's like me. He will call it. I'm calling it. I'm saying they are corrupt because I have several instances. This is not me just waking up and saying this stuff.
Can I say something that you might have glossed over? Can I repeat something that you might have glossed over?
I'm going to give you a minute. I'm going to give you a minute.
Doctor,
I'm going to give you a minute. I'm going to give you a minute. I'm going to wait, sir. What I'm saying here is that if we don't call out corruption, we can fix it. If those who are practicing there are not vocal about saying this is corrupt, this is corrupt, this is corrupt, it cannot change. And that's where I'm going. But I'll let you take your 1 minute and respond to this. Go ahead, sir.
So again, like I said, I started with the FIFA example.
Yes.
I talked about these guys who are playing football here. It's not organized and they are okay to do whatever they want. Football is administered by FIFA. So FIFA has put in the structures and everything. It's not a Nigerian thing. It's not a NFF corruption thing. If FIFA, the way it is structured, is as crooked as it was proven a few years ago, then what is the NFF? How is it different? But what we are saying is that our real problem is even more of incompetence than corruption. Yes, there is corruption, but if you do not have proof of corruption, why are you going to come out and say things that you can't prove?
Okay, we're going to leave it like that. But when you keep saying this, you keep triggering me, saying that we don't have proof of corruption. I just mentioned something to you. They don't pay people their allowance when it's due. There's dozens of them. They don't pay people. They pay their money is in dollars, but they want to pay them in naira. That is corruption. What else is corruption now? They are saying there's no proof. There's 100.
So,
maybe we'll do
again,
a follow-up. Maybe we'll do a follow-up.
We can break those scenarios down.
Wait, sir. Maybe we'll do a follow-up and I'll bring the recorded videos of those people because there's plenty of them. I didn't know we were going to get here today. I will have downloaded the videos and play them for you because that's what I do. But let's move on. I hear you. Again, you are professionals. You operate in that industry. It could be perilous for your career to just be going out there and be accusing people of corruption when you still have to deal with them and you don't have specifics. So I'm not, I understand where you're coming from, but let's move on a little bit. Let's move on to something else. See, it's you I have in the studio with me. I don't have any billionaire. I'm still going to try to get Shoname here. He's my friend and my class. We went to grammar school together. I'm going to bring him here. I'm going to rough him up a little bit because, yes, he's doing great. Okay? But what about the rest? Why have Nigerian billionaires been celebrated for buying foreign clubs, but hardly questioned for ignoring Nigerian football? Is there a reason? Because it's those who are promoting, who are in the game that can do it. Me, I'm not a sportscaster. Otherwise, I'll be calling them every day. I don't care. Me, my space is different. But now sports is a big plank when I'm announcing our Make Nigeria Great Again agenda for Nigeria Lives Matter. Sports is like number 3 there. It's one of the things that can really make Nigeria great. So I'm interested in this. Now I'm studying up. I'm watching videos of you, Sola Rogers, for instance. I have 4 of them they've downloaded for me. I've told them to go and download Mr. Ken's videos for me, about 10 or 20 of them. I want to watch so that I'm educated, so that when I'm shouting, I'm not just talking like an illiterate. I want to know exactly what the issues are. So forgive me that I'm not yet on top of it yet. But what do you say about this one? What do you say about this one? Why do we celebrate our billionaires for buying foreign clubs, but we don't question them for ignoring Nigerian football? We had the richest man in Nigeria wants to go and buy Arsenal. He even wants to buy. Is it Arsenal? He wants to buy that team that is always losing at the end of every season. Is it that? Let me harass Arsenal people first. The Shorores of the league. Every year they just disappoint me and lose at the end. That's what they want to buy. But anyway, let's come back to that. Why do you give them a pass? Seriously. I'm talking to you, Shala. You know, I always come to you first. I always come to you first.
So
yes.
like we have glossed over this earlier. The thing is that I like to look at things in a broad perspective. The billionaires of this world, of Nigeria, are keen into finished products. They don't have time to build. They don't want to be, and the Nigerian product needs building. I grew up in an era where there was an Abiola and there was John Mastrodis. These were the 2 biggest names in Nigerian football. Leventis United and Abiola Babes in the 80s. You know, of course, Stationary Stores at that time was funded by the fans and all of that. So our people have now seen the frenzy for foreign packaged goods. The Premiership is not old. It's a new thing. It started barely 2 decades ago, you know. And they were able to re-strategize. Even when we were watching foreign football, we were not watching the English Premier League. We were watching Brazilian football on TV. We were not watching, because it was boring. So what did they do to build it, to make our billionaires want to key into it, to make them have passion? There was a governor in Nigeria for 8 years. He watched every Arsenal home game. For 8 years, he would leave every 2 weeks to go and watch Arsenal play during the season. And
wow.
in his own state, there were 2 clubs that they were giving pittance. So
what governor is that? What governor is that? At least you have mentioned governor now, so you know the name. Who is that governor? Tell us. So
the former governor of Kwara.
Is that see? I mix all these people. Is that Saraki or somebody else?
Yes.
Okay.
And they will tell you that they have Kwara United and they have Kwara this and that, but you guys are spending more money traveling abroad to watch nobody wants to build from scratch. Nobody wants to invest. Nobody wants to go through it. So this is what leads me back to what we're saying, that if we all put all hands on deck, from the journalists to the marketers to everybody, we can actually build our league to the level that we want it to be.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. Let's hear from, I know I've ignored Jimmy Carto a little bit. Jimmy Carto, I'm just chancing you because you're the closest to me here. You, I can have any time. Mr. Ken, I may not be able to get him tomorrow, so I have him here today. Let him speak to this issue. Sir, what do you say to this issue? I hear I've had Mr. Rogers. What's your take? What's your take on this? Yes, sir.
The thing is, some people people don't understand what business is all about. Of course, like building the team. Shola did mention, in the ending past, and you're talking about, when you go back, even that era, Mastredos and other people, Abiola himself, there is Inwayan, Wimanele Wayan, there is Osakwe Flash Flamingos, there is Teluo, there is Gabros, there are individuals who invested in their money here. But you see, there is partnership. You just mentioned the EPL. How many Englishmen owns club in the EPL? How many English community owns club in the EPL? Chelsea was forced to bring out before they have an English owner. Manchester United, of course, the same thing that you're talking about here. Arsenal, there is the Emirates that built their stadium. Man City is the same Arab money that is there. So when you now look at it, the Americans, are the owners of Liverpool. So basically, investment come in, and that is the best. So those Nigerians that you're talking about, okay, Remo Stars is the team today that has the best structure when it talks of individual privately. He has a deal in Florence. He has a relationship with that team. There are some players that if he sells 1 or 2 players for $1 or $2 million, he built a stadium. All the Rangers that have been here, the insurance that have been here, they don't have their own stadium. Most of them don't even have their own secretariat. So whatever you do, so when you partner with foreign teams, when you buy a foreign club, buy a stake in foreign club, you have a relationship. There's the Real Madrid Academy that is in Port Harcourt. So basically, I don't see anything wrong with that. If you love the foreign team, that doesn't mean you love Nigerian one less. If you invest, that doesn't mean you invest Nigerian one less. So basically, there you have to form a relationship within yourself, a partnership between them. So basically, when your players are moving there, when your coaches, the young coach that has just won the league was trained. He went there in France. He spent 1 year in Portugal for the club that Soname has. If someone doesn't have that opportunity to have a club in Portugal, would they have this? So if you are not, I can indict you if you are doing nothing in Nigeria, but because you want to buy a foreign club in over there or spend there, and it is what you don't do here that I have issues with you. But when you do that and do here and bring it to develop here, we're talking about we send players outside. We know foreign investors. We know how much comes in from the earnings. Well, we're asking investors to come in. Our own are the one in America or in Europe. So we cannot say our own cannot go there to go and buy it. How? The Russians go there. The Americans go there. Everybody go there. If you look at Rexham, I don't know, a Nollywood actor. They move from National League to League 2 to League 1. Promotions always. They are not English. It's a Welsh club. These Americans who bought it. So it is a global phenomenon. And that partnership I encourage it so that our young players can have access. Instead of being selling them into Vietnam or to whatever places, they can go into Europe, settle in, and for their income. How much are they paying them here? Some of the clubs cannot pay their salaries. So basically, we need this partnership between those that have money in Nigeria who can invest in foreign clubs, have partnership with the Nigerian clubs, and that is what it is. I think I support that wholeheartedly.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Jimmy Carto, do you want to weigh in briefly on this before we go to the... Now, by the way, I don't really do calling, but I think I want to start that. Unfortunately, I only have a US number, but I hear you can call through WhatsApp. So the number is on screen. You can call me through WhatsApp and share your opinion. Maybe you want to call out any of these guys. We all have to get together and fight this thing together. So if you want to call, you can call up my WhatsApp number. Maybe I'll find a Nigerian number next time, but that's all I got right now. But Jimmy Carto, do you have anything to add to this before we move to the next topic?
Okay, I'll be brief about it. I think Ogaken has said a lot about that already. You look at Ochonogor, for example, he's got a club in Portugal, France, and you can imagine the sort of collaboration that will be happening between France and also Remo Stars. Also, Sola, the owner of I think his club is Carto in Denmark, is also owner of Sporting Lagos. He's also one of the co-founders of Paystack. So he's putting his money where his mouth is. He doesn't just like the game, he's investing both home and abroad. So, like Mr. Ken did say, it's not about castigating whoever has invested funds over there. But we'll have issues with you if you are not putting same effort. It may not be directly owning clubs, but maybe in terms of infrastructure. We know, for example, Dangote has invested there. So we cannot castigate him. He has invested, he spent money for the Abuja National Stadium for renovation and all that. So if someone like that, or maybe the child or the children, decide to go have a club outside Nigeria, we shouldn't be castigating them for them. But most importantly, what are you able to do here? What are you able to do abroad? Then whatever you're able to do abroad, it's just like saying, now let me do a little bad boost and send that across to Dr. Banwo. You have investments here in Nigeria. You also have in America. So can anybody castigate you by saying, oh, you are too pro-American, you are always in Nebraska and all that. So, you've done a lot here in Nigeria.
I got you. So basically you are saying, okay, that's a well-deserved one. That after all, me too, I invest in the US, but I live in the US. I don't live in Nigeria. So it's US people that are questioning me, why am I investing in Nigeria? But I hear you. I don't think it's an either or, and that wasn't my question. I celebrate Ochonogor. He put all his money in Remo Stars. They just won the league. So if he wants to buy a club abroad to make more money and to expand his interest in sports, of course I celebrate. I'm talking about those who don't even think about Nigeria, but who just want to, and who live in Nigeria, who are putting all their money abroad to the exclusion of Nigeria. So I hear you. But let's move this forward, because today that I have this gentleman here, I want to cover as much area as possible. Now, let's move to the government, because Sola has been hinting at it. He's been talking about it. Then let's get there. Do you believe that the Nigerian government is serious about reviving football, that's soccer in Nigeria, or have the sports media allowed them to get away with empty promises? Because the people that can call them are you guys, the sports media generally. Are they serious and it's just not working? Or you don't think they are doing enough than they could do? See, it could be that they are doing their best and it is what it is. Okay, maybe Nigerians don't. We are going to come to the fans later, because there was a time we all used to listen to Michael Jackson. But something happened, and Nigerian music listeners now, if you go to their party and you play Michael Jackson, they will fight you. They want to hear Olamide, they want to hear what happened. So we are going to come to them. But right now, I'm talking about Nigerian government. Sola, do you believe they're serious about reviving football, or have media, the sports media, allowed them to get away with empty promises for so long? Go.
This current government is arguably the first government that has actually brought sports practitioners to this level. Government after government after government. And even before they got these guys, remember they had someone who was a farmer and a senator as Minister of Sports. And that's the problem we've had for the past 20, 30, 40 years. They bring in people who don't understand sport, and they spend 4 or 5 years trying to learn the ropes. By the time they have gotten to a level, they are gone.
Yeah, last time they gave us a farmer, the former sports minister was a farmer somewhere.
Yes.
I'm like, what? And they have a lot of, so they have Ken here, they have you here, they have the other means of this world who knows sports.
Yeah.
They put them, but
So,
why? Yes.
So again, that has always been the problem, that government has never seen sports as a business. It's always been something for the boys. Just put somebody there. Just put somebody there. This is the first time that I'm seeing two people at the helm of affairs who are actually people who have invested their money and their time. Now, it is on them. I hope that they will live up to expectations. But up until the time these two guys came in last year, we've always had the problem of putting square pegs in round holes when it comes to sports administration in Nigeria. And with that, sports cannot grow. There's no way you can make a headway. You cannot, in Nigeria, you can't make a pharmacist minister of health. It's not possible. And the pharmacist is part of the structure, but they won't allow it. But in sports, it's just anybody and anything. And it's always been like that.
I hear you. Okay, Mr. Khan, you want to weigh in on this?
Yes, I really want to do that because this is an issue that Jimmy is here, that, we took the mantle on for a very long time. We were quite instrumental in the formation of the defunct Minister of Sport Development when we looked at the budget of the Minister of Youth and Sports. In the budget in the last 5 years, 5, 6, 7 years, we look at that the NYSC, which is a component of the Ministry of Youth and Sport, gets about 92 to 93% of the budget that is meant for for that particular ministry. We looked at it before you remove the NIS and remove every other thing. You find out that what is left for sport is less than 5%, or say a maximum of 7% in a year. Some federations, like the Wrestling Federation, and that was 2 years ago or so, 2-3 years ago. The total money I was given to them was about 20 million. I don't know if you convert 20 million naira into dollars. You are in America, and tell me if that one can even take care of a tournament. But that was how much they gave to them, in a year. Which means every time they want to go for a tournament or they want to go anywhere, they have to run, cap in hand, to the government. The minister will now go to the government, federal government, to go and approve money, so that the president will approve money. So it will go to the Minister of Finance, so that they can answer whatever it is. So basically, they were underfunded. But when you look at it, we also look at the document that has the sport policy, and said from the local government to the state level and the federal level, a minimum of 5% will be allocated for running of sport in Nigeria. But none of them, neither the federal nor the state nor local government, budget up to 0.5. I'm not talking about 1%, 0.5% of their budget, even 0.01% of their budget for sport. So sport was basically underfunded. So a structure we have to come in. If the government say, look, you see, we're not talking about professional sport here. We are talking about structures. We are talking about a basketball court. We're talking about football court. We're talking about a tennis court. We're talking about trainers. How many coaches? How many that you train? How many of them do you when you were in school, Dr. Babajimi? I remember, probably you remember when your parents will sew a pan for you and they write PT at the back, which you use in that. We have gone where, and then your PE teacher is somebody who has not been trained. He's not a trained trainer. So what is he good? What do you can you give what you don't have? So basically, each of these schools, you need to train the trainers and second them to the schools so that they know, because at that grassroots level is where you have the conveyor belt through which you want to push on. So government should not, we are spending, I think, how do I say it, a convoluted spending, because if you're spending on professional club, you are spending 800 million to $1 billion on the football club that's supposed to be bringing revenue year in, year out, and then if you check their account, it's only cash, there is no cash inflow, it is only expenditure. expenditure, there are no earnings. Then if you spend that money on primary schools, on secondary school sports, on universities by the federal government, then we're talking about sports development. Put the infrastructure, train the trainers, and push them on, and then put that is the thing. Basically, you are in America. There is March Madness, which is a basketball tournament for colleges. Go and check how much some schools get. Go and check the sponsorship they get in doing March Madness for just to play basketball. Go and see what is going on there. Yes,
Mr. Ken, let me slow your roll for a bit. Now, one of our viewers, Austin Okonakman, thank you, Mr. Austin, for staying with us, Mr. Tony Abulu, and all of you who have been making comment about this. This is a national conversation, so we welcome you guys posting your thoughts. This is an interesting one. Rather than us looking for government, hear what this man is saying. He said our football is struggling because of government involvement. The state governments should back off first. How about that? See, this is a man saying, listen, maybe our problem is because government is getting involved. And you are talking about government giving money, government doing this. This man is saying, I happen to think like this, by the way. Why should government, other than, of course, providing a living environment?
Maybe let me make it clear. Maybe you didn't hear what I said. I said government is spending where they are not supposed to be spending. I said there is a sport policy in Nigeria that said that mandates, I repeat the word mandates, the local government, the state government, and the federal government to spend a minimum of 5% of the budget for sport development. I am talking about sport development. I'm not saying spend on professional things. I said the money you are spending on professional teams is wasted. That you should have been using that money, to develop sport at the primary school, secondary school. Those who don't have to go and for money elsewhere. It is the government, the various governments and organizations that will develop sport at that level. Before you say you identify the talent, you groom the talent, and then before you train, prepare him for professionalism. So when it's got to that time, it is not that professional we're earning. Just like our professional footballers go to Europe and bring money here, that is how the professional football clubs should be bringing money, not government spending money on professional football clubs. That is maybe you did that, they didn't get that.
Okay,
I said spend on grassroots sport development. That is what I said.
Yeah, and you are correct. Thank you so much for that. I didn't get that connection properly before, but you are correct. All right. Again, for those of you watching us at home, you are watching us. We are talking about a very, very important national development issue that we don't talk about enough. Sports. We all focus on the politics. We all focus on. Meanwhile, what brings us together faster, which is soccer and other sports, tend to be ignored. So today we are talking about Nigeria's dangerous love affair with the English and Spanish soccer, how Arsenal, Liverpool, Man U, Chelsea stole our nation's soul, and how we can get it back. Maybe they didn't even steal the soul. Maybe we gave them our soul. I don't know, because it's so easy to go say they stole our soul, because if somebody stole, that means they came and took it. But if you carry your own soul and then you go and give it to them, you can't whine. So that takes me to the next question, right? I think that's one about the fans a little bit. Okay, let's look at yes. Okay, we've talked about that one a little bit. Okay, let's look at this one. That is the death of Nigerian football, or the near death, more about bad management, or because Nigerians, the fans, including journalists, I like to pick on journalists because you're the ones I'm seeing, is because they sold out for glamour. What do you really think? Now, I'm actually asking a very deliberate question now for us to find, because we're going to talk about what to think are solutions later. And Mr. Ken is very knowledgeable. He has already mentioned 2 or 3 that I'm going to make him repackage for us so that we can have it as a separate segment, because I'm going to be cutting out each segment of this interview and promoting them differently. So on this one, really, Mr. Ken, what I really wanted to Mr. Jimmy, be ready, because I want your take on this. What exactly caused the death of Nigerian football? Is it more about mismanagement, or because Nigerians, the fans, including journalists and people like me who talk anyhow, we sold out on glamour instead of building our own? What do you think? You have talked about this thing. Yes, sir.
Let me start here. A lot of factors, and then you don't, like I said, I don't go simplistic. because like this is a gamut of what we have been from the very beginning. We followed it. We really followed it. Now, I want to look at the highlights of Nigerian football. Winning the AFCON in 1980, winning the AFCON in 1994, winning the Olympics in 1996, and winning the AFCON in 2013. Now, that is, you're talking about the tournaments. But when I watch football in Lagos, there is, in LAFA, Lagos Association Divisional Football in Lagos, there are about 4 divisions in LAFA. You're talking about Leventis United. Leventis started from Lagos. Leventis Ido Tigers. You need to know where Ido Market is. That is where their office is. You understand? So Leventis was there. You're talking about stationery stores. You talk about ECN. You talk about National Bank. You talk about ACB. You talk, a lot. The banks. In fact, the banks then, the economy was buoyant. Almost all the banks in Nigeria have their own federal. Even Central Bank have it. So they started with the tournament. Then I had the club. Now, at that point in time, our players were not going outside to go and play professional football. When we in 1980, at that time, we're having the Tunji Banjo and what did this other player? I'm trying to remember this guy from the East. They were just 2 professional football that we have in the national team. They say, Jimmy. They were just 2 professional teams that we had. Now, move back to 1994. By 1994, all the players that won the AFCON came from Europe. The influence of the players going to Belgium, the influence of players going over there, it's now, and then you now see what they come in, what they gain, how they improve professional when the football was still thriving. Now, the economy, almost all the companies that own clubs then are now defunct. Where is the national supply? Where are they? Where is the banks I mentioned? They are almost all of them are all defunct. Now, so the purchasing power is no longer there. And then when the players now started going to Europe, at the age of 17, 18, 19, 20, all our players are thinking of going to Europe to go and play football. That is why they want to earn the money. That's why they take care of their family. I mean, labor is mobile. Mobility of labor cannot be restricted. But when Christian Chukwu, Shego Degbami, other people play, they played all their life in Nigeria. So when you are going to watch it, ICC versus Rangers International, you are going to watch, you know that Chukwu will be there. You know that Degbami will be there. You know that Muda will be there. You know that Okala will be there. But now, before they play under 20, after play under 17, almost 90% of those teams are already in Europe. So those are the things. So which are the stars you want to go and watch? If you want to watch Real Madrid, we are not talking about Lamine Yamal. You want to go and watch players. And I induct journalists in one way. Because it's like if we want to interview the chairman of the club, we are not building stars for the team. It is the stars who has, like now the league has just ended. We're talking about Remo Stars and Kule Shoname. Out of the players who played for them, who are their star players? How many Nigerians? I can tell you 0.05% of Nigerian fans and journalists cannot name the starting 11 of Remo Stars. They can name it for second division team over there. So these are the areas that we need to. It's a collective. It's a collective thing that we all are, there. So, but there are natural things you cannot stop. This is external, like I said, the economy is down. The economy, if you earn 1 point, you're about 2,000. So if they go there, they are paying them 1,000, 2,000 in a month. They convert it and say, I can send 500 home. But if they play in Nigeria, who is there? So who wants to go there? Like hooliganism is another thing. You go to the stadium, your team lose and start beating people. Look at Shooting Stars. The Shooting Stars played just of recent. The referees have to be, they have to wear police uniform to leave the pitch because the fans wants to beat them up. Nasarawa United, a lot of these clubs are doing all these things. So if we don't tackle hooliganism, if we don't tackle a lot of this that are there, people will not be free to go to the stadium. Will you go to the stadium? Will you carry your wife, your daughter, your children to go to the stadium where somebody's going, a hooligan is going to break your head or you're going to see blood? No. So these things are holistic. We must sit down. The league board has a way they say, okay, we punish the thing, we banish you. If you have been using one form of punishment for 20 years and it has not been working, why not revise another one? Because everybody just pay the fine and then we move on.
Mr. K, you are too loaded for me. So let me pause it for a second and let's hear a little bit from Mr. Jimmy Carto before I come back to you are really making the points. I'm making notes because for me too, I'm trying to educate myself so that when I'm fighting, I actually know what I'm talking about. When I'm saying make Nigeria great again, we want to use sports. And by the way, let's take a few comments from the... Okay, Mr. Carto, why don't you weigh in briefly Then I'll take some comments from the audience, because they are putting some really good comments here. We need to recognize what they are saying. But go ahead, Mr. Carto.
Okay, so basically the question is the death of Nigerian football. Is it about bad management or because Nigerians, the fans and including us journalists, is it because we sold out for glamour? Like I did say, it's all about the product. If the product is viable, if the product is well positioned, and like I initially said, if the domestic game is well positioned, then you will not be giving excuses to fans to want to have that paying chance to follow the foreign leagues the way we have it right now. So, like Mr. Ken also has said, it's very important for us to have a critical look at what our strategic national interests are. How can we use sports to re-engineer the society? Because we can talk all we want about the problems. If the government really wants to be as serious as they should be about it, it has to be looking thoroughly through the national sports policy and implementing the sports policy to the letter. It's not just about making the promises. It's not just talk summits. We usually have all these summits, conferences, where we talk about what we want to do. But how do we begin to action this? How do we begin to take baby steps to say, yes, this is a short-term plan, this is a mid-term plan, then this is long-term plan. We've seen infrastructural deficits, being a major bane of Nigerian sports, but we can see what Senegal is doing. We can see what Morocco is doing. If any team, any national, if any nation right now wants to host a competition and they don't end up hosting, before you know it, have to talk to Morocco and they will end up hosting because they have the infrastructure. But we do not have the infrastructure in Nigeria. So these are critical problems you need to look at solving.
All right, Jimmy Carto. Now, I want to take some of these questions that, as the posts that have been out there, because they are very provocative in terms of us having a nice discussion today. Here is Mr. Tony Abuli. By the way, Mr. Tony, I'm going to be bringing you to talk about the role of Nollywood in making Nigeria great again. That's my own goal this year with Nigeria Lives Matter. And you are a consummate practitioner. You have knowledge and all that. We're coming because also Nollywood put us on the global map. What are we doing to actually harness that brand to the highest level? It's like we have not been able to go to the next level in Nollywood, right? We're trying, but by now I expect the Genevieves of this world to be getting featured regularly. Brother, we're coming to you. So, and that day we will come and do basketballs for you. But today it says nobody cares about anything indigenous in Nigeria today. We have to fight for our creative industry to be noticed. And I believe him, I agree. It starts with government. If government doesn't care, there's no hope. It says, Mr. Ken, God bless you. I think he hit it on the money. We might be running a capitalist economy, but in a place where we are really mono income economy, where the government is the one with all the money. We can't say we want to do like America. We have to do an hybrid. Government has got to spend money. That is my belief. Government has got to not just put policies, they have to be fiscally involved. So thank you. Somebody said, do we even have college football in Nigeria today? Princess MQ Abiola, good to see you. It's been a while. You don't love me anymore. What did I do? All right, what do you guys think about that? I don't know, Mr. Carto and Mr. Ken, do we still have college football? In those days, when Finbas wants to play CMS, that is like a standstill. When we at the Jabode Grammar School, when we want to play Odogbolu Grammar School, it's like the whole world is standing still. Everybody is into it. There's a lot of energy in college. College. College in Nigeria, we call it is the secondary school, right? Secondary school, soccer. What happened to that, Mr. Ken or Mr. Jimmy? Any of you can take it. What do you think happened to that?
There is still there, but I know I know what you're talking about. I remember King's College. You remember CKC Onitsha going to win. Yeah.
Yes.
The world your school tournament is been there, but like you said, I think it is. How do I say it? The death of youthfulness. In channels. I don't like Finbas. Okay, I don't like Finbas. Finbas beat my school. Fimbas beat my in 1980. Fimbas beat my school 9-0 in the quarterfinals of Lagos State Principal Cup. So I don't like them. I don't like Eringosu. I don't like them. I don't like them at all. Just like I don't like superstars of Jimmy Superstars. Those guys at USC, they were playing against Airways, and they scored an offside goal. I just came from school, my school bag. I think I was in class 3 on my school, and I was watching, and I said offside. Okay, you don't know what they did to me. They beat the hell out of a student with. I was wearing my school uniform, and they made me to shout, "Keep me upstairs, upstairs!" before they left me alone. So I don't. So
I think superstars are the new Arsenal.
I was supposed to do that. They have Wakilo Yenuga. They have a lot of my friends who played for Stars. But then that is not the same. But like that, the school sport, like I said, Chamnels, my organization, for 12 years, before the COVID, we ran, the Chamnels Kids Cup, where we did it for the primary schools, not the elite. Primary schools. You have to be in primary school. You have to be under 13 years of age. We discovered them. We started from Lagos. Then from Lagos, we went to the Southwest. From the Southwest, we went to all Nigeria in conjunction with Superb, the Superb. And then we now move it to the West African sub-region. We bring them in 16 schools, we bring them to Lagos, camp them, house them, and then a lot of them have played for Rangers, played for other teams. But when COVID came in, before we came out from COVID, and like I said, the value of the naira, a lot of the economy, it affected a lot of things. Some of those schools benefited because the T.Y. Danjuma Foundation did. When you win anything, they will put a structure in your school, whether it is a basketball court, anything you choose. They will just say you want 2.5 million. What are we going to use as a there? What are we going to use to do for you? So it was there. Shell has, and we check what they do something with Shell. I don't know how it is now. And then they're also now, they're now trying to get the youth team of the youth league of the teams in the league to play all those ones. But nothing beats school sports. Like I said, you're in America. You know what March Madness is all about. You know how much comes in them. How much we know what about. Guys, the future of American basketball. That's so the future of Nigerian football has to have the corporate presence for them to get it done. That is what we know. That is what's not just there. If we had the support in Chamnels Kid, it is my managing director, my MD, my chairman who was spending his money. You don't understand what it is to bring kids and feed them for 2 weeks in Lagos, training, hostel, referees, everything. I just want to pay respect to the late chairman of president of Nigerian Football Association, Tade Aziz, who passed on last week. It was been a great access for what we had with them in Lagos. So it is not impossible. Organizations are doing it, but we have to be conscientious of what we want to do. We have to be intentional about what we want to do. To say, let us revive school sport. If we revive that, it is not just wake up. It will also come, cheating, because when people are not in school, you just go and bring somebody and they represent you the youth team. When we are doing our youth, Nigeria, we have our youth Olympics now. When you have national, it is not there. But when they are in school, not mercenaries. We talk about Eringosu, Schoolboy International, and Double, Eruna Ilerica. They were playing for the team when they were in school. From school, they wear their uniform, they will go back. Jonathan Akwabori, how many years did he play? You understand? So basically, yes, it is where we need to start. It is not we to be consciously put our money, which I said earlier. Put that 5%. We've been challenging them on air. If you're a local government chairman, if you're a state governor, if you're the president of Nigeria, come and tell us what I've been doing for the 5% that is meant for sport development in Nigeria, that is in the sport policy that's approved by the government. So let us see where we want to go. If we can do that, then I bet you the future will be very, very bright.
All right, awesome. Jimmy, you want to weigh in a bit before I do a segment? I want to move to a different part of this debate.
Yeah, Doctor, to further buttress what Engineer Ken has said, it's very important for all the local government chairmen as much as possible moving forward. Let us have at least 774 mini stadia, across the nation. In every local government.
Hold that thought, because that's where we are going to end the segment on what are the solutions. Because we want to talk the problem out first, then we're going to end with Mr. Ken, yourself, and hopefully SI will be able to come back on what exactly should be the solutions. Because wanting to talk, do we have a solution? We're coming back to that. You're already getting into it. It's where I came at you. But let's go into something else entirely right now, okay, that I feel that concern me. Why is it easier to find a European match live in Nigeria than a Nigerian league match in Nigeria? Because you're not going to find that anywhere else in the world, okay, except Nigeria, and it's driving me crazy. This is not me going after the television stations, the DSTVs of this world. I was in Nigeria recently, and I really, really wanted, because one of my friends, Jimmy Carto, you know him very well, Biki Ogala, SAN, okay, he apparently is investing in a club, a local club, somewhere in Ikorodu, and I was trying to find so that I can even make mess of it to see how is his team playing, whether they were beating. I was searching the whole of my DSTV. I could not find Nigerian football. I get it that, okay, they say, okay, maybe it's not as glamorous as English soccer, our fields are not as good, but it is what you expose Nigerians to, they're going to fall in love with. It's what it is. When Nollywood started to rock the world, Nollywood was not the best production because these guys don't have the money that Nollywood has. They have like less than 1% of the budget that people in America has. But somehow it was put in our face. It was everywhere. Those guys in the Dumata that we like to run down, they did a great job. They put a lot of energy. All of a sudden, because that's what we are seeing. Everybody fell in love with Nigerian movies. And now we've gone abroad. But in Nigerian soccer, like Mr. Ken said before, I cannot name anybody that is a footballer in Nigerian local league, even right now. The only thing I know is Remo Stars won National League. That's the highest of my knowledge. Why? Because nobody is showing them to me. I don't run into them on Instagram. I don't run into it on my DSTV. I don't see it anywhere. Even words and all, even if it's to laugh. That's how they laugh at Nollywood when Nollywood started. When they want to show where you see a ghost that is opening door. Normally, ghosts are supposed to walk through the door, right? Our own ghost, we open door to enter. It's okay. The world bought it for us like that. So why? Why, sir? Mr. Ken, I'm starting with you.
Like I said, these things you need to understand the broadcast rights. There used to be a time where if they are playing, like, if they are playing matches over there, we'll just go over there and then go to the internet, collect the match and start watching. Or we go to CFI, Canal France International, and we start watching it. And then they don't put it there, you look for advert. But when you call, they say, that is ambush marketing. If you do not pay, you do not use it. So things have evolved. Right now, your picture now, somebody cannot use it. You can sue them for image rights. So a lot of things are there. So there are things we cannot use on our shows. If you don't have the right, it has to be about rights. That is where, like I just mentioned, Canal France International, where the government comes in. Because it is where you now say, okay, fine. Do we have a national network of, that was okay, let us go and cover these things and show it. I think they've started now. They started with a few games, but it is just starting. I don't know. It is not too late. When you say when you wake up, now be your morning. About to talk about for Babajimi. When you wake up when at the time when you wake up, now be your morning. Here you understand. Or you understand that yourself.
Yes.
So
yes.
the thing has to do with rights. It has to do with whatever. At a point, the Nigerian Premier League, with a satellite broadcast organization has their right to show it. And then I think they now have issues or whether they should pay them in dollars or in pounds. And then those guys were saying, look, the rate at which to go and source for dollars to pay you, even if the agreement or whatever we have is in dollars, will be difficult for us. So they could not reach agreement, and those guys pulled out. If not, they will go there. They will show about 2 or 3 matches in a week, and then you can watch, you can follow. So when they left, how many TV stations in Nigeria can carry outside broadcast equipment to go? The insecurity is also there. Do you want to leave Lagos to go to Boronu to go and show a game? Una go come back and not if you fly. The aeroplane go carry reach the field. You understand? The roads are bad. So how do you travel to go and and get this networking done? So there are a lot of things. If they can open it up, like we said, we are here now. Our people are watching us and what we are doing. Our clubs can come in. I think Sporting Lagos at the point you can watch their games. You can just they'll give you a link. You go and watch. At the point the FA told us they are in partnership with some people that we are going to show the matches everywhere. and then the money will come in. Well, we know now audio money now we sing. So basically, those things are still there. So I think it boils down to funding. Actually, it boils down to to the broadcast rights. The EPL that you are talking about is colonizing us. Okay, the EPL is shown in every country in Asia apart from Russia. It is right now the ESPN is showing it now in Brazil. You understand? Let me give you this. There is a player, a Mexican player that played for Manchester United. His name, they call him Chicharito, Javier Hernandez. When Manchester United is playing and Javier Hernandez is on the pitch, crime rates, listen to me, Okpeo, and watch him. Crime rates in Mexico reduced by over 70%. Women give birth easily on the, who are in labor. The statistics, the chief of police in Mexico prayed that Manchester United should be playing every day so that the crime rate in Mexico will reduce. That is the power of a player. That is the power of television. That is the power, that is the star power that we can have if we have the stars of our players wherever they are playing in Nigeria. But we must build them as stars in Nigeria first before we export them. So that is what we need to do.
No, I hear you. Again, the issue is what I want to focus. I know the power of sports is why I'm making it my number one thing when I'm discussing my manga. I've not even released my manifesto for manga yet. My Nigeria Lives Matter. We have a manifesto for Make Nigeria Great Again. 7 pillars, okay, that we want to be pushing. I'm not a politician. I'm not planning to run for any election. But for me, anybody that wants me to support them in 2027, they better be aligning with this manifesto. One of them is this thing you just talked about. You are correct. There's so many benefits for sports, for the country. It reduced crime rates, the business of it and all that. But what we are talking about here, see, Premier League, with all due respect, will not come and develop Nigerian soccer unless we make them. And I'm coming to that. I have 7 proposals as we are getting to the solutions in a few minutes. I'm going to put it to you one by one. Are you going to tell me what you think, whether you think this can work or not work? Because I came with my full homework. I don't do this stuff and just talk. But what I'm saying here, because you said it, yes, they may not have the money to pay the DSTV people, but we can pass our laws. Yeah, you have to give them the deal. For instance, in politics, even I know in America, I don't know whether that's the law in Nigeria. Even NTA, even they call it AIT, that is a private TV. They can't just say because they support Tinubu, for instance. I don't know if they do or not, but they can't just say because they support Tinubu, they will be showing only Tinubu all the time. Our broadcast will say that they must give equal time to other competitors. They don't have a choice. They're not going to say, oh, because a Jimmy Carto that is contesting does not have money to pay them, they're not going to talk anything about his political party. It's a mandatory regulation. Why can't we have that for DSTV? That no, you have 10 channels for EPL. By Nigerian law, you must have 5 for Nigerian soccer. It's not an option. It's a regulation. This is what is called tariff now. This is what you think Trump is trying to do, that everybody's, you have to protect your own. Nigerian Soccer League right now, they don't have the money to compete with EPL. And if the people who own the platforms are allowed to go by the highest bidder, nobody will ever watch us. So the government should probably pass some regulations and say, DSTV, there's 10 channels that is showing Premier League on Saturday. For every 2 Premier League channels, you need to have 1. I don't care, you go get it, or you are not showing this Premier League. We are in control of that to protect our. So they will, because those people depend on the Premier League team. They will go and sort that out. By now, they will have to go work a deal. Okay, and then NBC, if they have been unreasonable or the owners have been unreasonable, then NBC can step in and broker the deal. So don't tell me they don't have the money to pay for the platform. That's why they can't be there. Government needs to come in because it's embarrassing.
Let me. I said something. Maybe you didn't get it. The DSTV. I'm sorry to mention names, even I would have mentioned any names. They were showing. They were showing the league. There was a contractual agreement with Nigerian Football Federation on the terms in which they're showing it. But like I said, when the naira value became a little, devaluing the naira and stuff like that, it became even sourcing, even the state governments and companies in Nigeria breakdown to source for foreign currency became difficult for them. So they reached, I think they reached out, because we read this since I'm not private,
But
I'm
they
not part
found
of
that
the,
money.
what about
But they
in?
found the money
Yes,
to
it
pay
is what we do, it is what is in the public domain that I'm
They have
saying
the
here.
money to pay Arsenal. They have the money
And
to
so
pay Arsenal.
understand what that is. See, when you say they have the money to pay Arsenal, you are not talking about
And
as
they are
if
using
they
it.
there.
And
They
Arsenal
are
is still
into
using it.
you watch. See, no. There are a lot of the other sports franchises that they pay in. We watch Formula One. We watch tennis. We watch the NBA. We watch all these things. It is premium. It is premium. And in DSTV, they also give you your whatever what your hand reach. If it's a 2 naira all you want, they'll give you where you don't watch any of those Premier League, whatever it is. That is the thing.
And that's what I'm saying. That it shouldn't be.
Yes.
The 200 million Nigerians that are watching the Premier League are making them to be able to pay for the Premier League. We deserve a discounted team for our local league. Very discounted.
No, listen to what Jimmy said. Listen to what Jimmy said. Why do Nigerians prefer? No, I understand what you must create. You must create value. You must create value. The product must give value. Why do Nigerians prefer to watch the Premier League than our own league? You understand? Why? What is the atmosphere? Of course, and I know it is well packaged. I remember when Rangers played Enyimba, I think a season or two ago. I mean, these people were outside, were more than those were inside. It was sold out. So you can still do it. When Sporting Lagos were in Lagos, they have hospitality suits, which they sold out for people to come there and make whatever it is. But what is the average number of fans that is watching them? So we need to bring back the fans first. We need to create that fandom. But if we don't do that, it's like you want to sell before you make. No, it is the product must give value, satisfaction, safety, comfort. You understand? So that if you don't go to the stadium and get stressed. You want to go on, after working from Monday to Saturday, you want to lose your stress.
What I'm saying to you, sir, again, it's a chicken and egg approach. But what I'm saying to you is that Nigerians are not in love with Nigerian soccer because they are not seeing it. That is the problem. So you have to make them see it first. Nigerians will fall in love with Nigerian soccer, even with the bad pitch like that. If we can fall in love with Nollywood, even at the time that we are watching all those overdone videos from Hollywood that are done with hundreds of millions of naira. It was that same era that the world fell in love with Nollywood. And when you watch Nollywood, they are much better now. But when you watch them then, really, you see so many.
Calm down. This not be your area. Calm down. Calm down. See. Calm down first now. Calm down. Calm down. Just calm down. From 1898, from when the league started in England to 1992, they were also having issues. At a point, people were not going to watch their games until they start the Premier League. If somebody has to come in, Robert Rupert has to put in his money to make it, to put in money. So let us create a product. No, listen to me. It is consciously done. It was not the government of England that did it. It was the private organization. Let us cleanse the game. Let us keep the hooliganism. Remember when people died when Liverpool were playing. Remember, when Liverpool played Juve, and then England was banned from Europe for 5 years. Those things there, they solved it. They are now here. Can we solve it first? That is what Jimmy said about which I took the product. That's what we are saying. Government can say, look, NTA, and take this to the bank. NTA has more reach than DSTV. NTA is practically in every village in Nigeria. So if NTA is showing the matches, every Nigerian that has access to television, whether in remote villages, can watch the league. So leave the foreign people alone first. Let us look at the man in the mirror. Let us look at the man in the mirror.
Sir, I hear you. It's a chicken and egg thing. But a DSTV cannot come to Nigeria, be making all this money, and we cannot make them help us to develop our local league. To me, that makes no sense. Why? Because they're desperate for it. They're desperate for foreign league. That is the mainstay. Remember, Tony Suba and ITV, basically what killed them. They really wanted to get at a Premier League at all costs. They overbidded. They couldn't get their finances, and then they ran into trouble. So we know that paid cable in Nigeria, the backbone of it is this Premier League. So if I was government, I hear you about the NTA, 100%. But if I was government, NTA may not have money to develop the clubs. I'm talking about where they even give money to some of these clubs to develop. If you mandate it for DSTV today, that for every 2 Premier League channel, you must have 1 Nigerian channel. You will be stunned what will happen to Nigeria in the next 6 months, because they will, by the time you are turning around, you have nowhere, especially if they put in that basic, make them put in that basic bouquet. By the time you turn here, you see a Yimba. You turn here, you see the monsters. Before you know it, that's what.
DSTV has about 8 channels that play Nigerian music. They have about 10 channels that play Nollywood films. If you put your product right, you see, you're talking about football. I am silly. That's what I'm saying. To Nollywood, you see, go and check all the Nollywood stations that they have. Go and check Nollywood 1, Nollywood 2, whatever. Go and check all the musical channels that play Nigerian music there. Let us put our value first. Let us put our. I'm an exponent of the league. I love the league. I promote the league. But I must tell ourselves the truth. If you don't tell yourself the truth, protectionism will not save us. If we say go and show it, and we are not doing the right product, we won't get to where we are going. We won't.
See, the problem I'm starting to have with you, Mr. Ken, is that you're not focusing on the issue at hand. I'm not disagreeing with you, but we're not there yet. I'm not disagreeing that we need to go improve the product. That's not my question. That's not the point right now. Product or no product, okay? If we need, because something will drive the product to improve itself. If you are getting showed and your club started to get popular, other people want their club to be seen also. So we are living about. Anyway, I've got Mr. Rogers here. Let me go straight out, because I have 7 crazy proposals. I'm talking me now, thinking about this. I'm not a sports person, but before I make it a cardinal thing that I want to start to fight for, I want guys like you who this is your domain, like Ken rightly said, this is not my domain. You might say this is unrealistic. I just want you to help me evaluate it. What do you think? Then when we are done with that, if there's still time, I will ask each of you if what you will change in the government. But before I even go there, let me just quickly put it, because in case we didn't get there, I want to put every one of you on the spot. Everybody's going to answer this one. If you can enforce just one brutal, unpopular policy today as a sports journalist to save Nigerian football, what will it be? I can take it back and we'll come back to it later. I'll be thinking about that. If you can enforce one brutal, unpopular policy today that will make our sports better and save Nigerian football, what will it be? I'm going to come back to that question after I play this music, because Nigeria is all we got. I believe in Nigeria. Again, I wrote a song and I got my AI musician to produce Muguland Forever, because know where we are going. This is our country. So we'll take a short break, just 3 minutes, as we enjoy this song. We'll be right back. If you are watching us right now, we are discussing what is happening with Nigerian sports, especially soccer, as an instrument of national development. I believe strongly in it, more than many other things that we're all chasing up and down. If we get our sports right, we can have national unity faster. When we come back, we will talk about 7 crazy ideas that I have. We're going to get our guys to comment on it after they give me an answer on this one. Don't go away as we watch Muguland Forever.
Muguland Forever. Though you
Muguland, beautiful, shining through the rain. From the mountains to the seas, we rise again. With our land so green and our hearts so true. Muguland, the beautiful, all eyes on you. From arable lands where the harvest grow wide, the envy of nations with blessings worldwide. Sunshine that warms us, no frostbite in sight. Our weather's a gift in the day and the night. Brains that amaze and hearts full of fire. The world sees our talent, we rise even higher. We build and we shine, no challenge too tall. Mugulanders rise, we conquer it all. Muguland, beautiful, shining through the rain. From the mountains to the seas, affiliate we stand. Through storms we smile, every hardship we face, we rise in style. Over 250 tribes with a culture so rich, born from the past where traditions stitch the riches below. From oil to gold, natural wonders that never grow old. From diamonds to gas, we've been truly blessed. The world looks to Muguland for the best. Muguland, beautiful, shining through the rain. From the mountains to the seas, we rise again. With our land so green and our hearts so true. Muguland, the beautiful, all eyes on you. Our food tells a story, from jollof to stew, pepper soup that warms, and fufu too. A taste of our land in every bite. The world craves our flavors both day and night. We laugh through the pain, our spirits don't break. With joy in our hearts and love that we make. Muguland's a treasure for all to behold. A future so bright, a story untold. Muguland, beautiful, shining through the rain. From the mountains to the seas, we rise again. With our land so green and our hearts so true. Muguland, the beautiful, all eyes on you. Muguland, the beautiful, shining through the rain. From the mountains to the seas, we rise again. With our land so green and our hearts so true. Muguland, the beautiful, all eyes on you.
Excuse me. Yeah, Muguland the Beautiful. All eyes on it. I love that song. Incidentally, all that song, written, produced, sang, everything by AI. There is no human involved in that whole sequence, from the video itself to the song to the writing and all that. One day we'll talk about the role of AI in Nigeria being great as we. But right now, let's go to the question. Mr. Ken is not here, but I have that question that I want us to answer right away. I want it on record here. Sir, Mr. Rogers, if you could enforce one brutal, maybe unpopular policy today that will save Nigerian football, what do you think that would be? If I were to make you president right now, I'll give you the power to impose something that will save Nigerian football. One thing, what will it be?
I would ensure that local sports takes precedence over any other sports. I would ensure that every state, every local government, every business that is going into any form of sports must, as a matter of priority, push funds and create content around local sports. If I'm given that power, that's what I'll do. I'm not going to
100%.
tell the foreign guys not to come in, but I will ensure that local content gets at least 70% of everything that we do.
Boom. I love that. I will agree with you 101 million. Mr. Jimmy, what would be your own? If you have one thing that you could enforce one way or the other to save Nigerian football, what will it be? Other than that one you just mentioned, you can't align with him. Bring your own.
Yeah. I think basically it would be to end, sustainable government ownership of clubs or federations. So that means every sports federation, every state-owned club, virtually every of our assets should transition to a private, commercially run model, as against the bottlenecks of going through government, where it now is used as a tool for propaganda to service the boys and all that. So it will be important for us to transition into that model within the next 3 to 5 years. That would be very brutal, because it's going to put a lot of it's going to scatter everywhere, so to say, and it will bode well for our sports moving forward. So we must have an agenda, like the short-term plan, the mid-term plan, and also the long-term plan, to ensure this happens. But if you have such a policy, you can be sure that there will be professionalism. You can be sure that as much as possible, investments will be unlocked. and more people will have better trust in the system.
I'll ask for
They'll
one thing.
have-
That is the problem. When you're trying to do too many things, nothing gets done. You see that Mr. Shalaro just hit it. One thing, because we have to take it one thing at a time. I'll come back to you, but
Yes.
before we go on, I want to. Sorry about that. I wanted to give a quick shout out to Otumba Kunle Shoname, the visionary owner of Raymond Stars Football Club, who has just led his team to victory as champions of the Nigerian Sports League. I wish I have the video of that club. I will have played about 3 minutes of it because it's all part of it. If we are not promoting our own, nobody's going to promote it. I was so excited to hear what Kunle Shoname is doing. Otumba Kunle Shoname, what he's doing in the sports area. Is a very, very good friend of mine. We went to grammar school together, and I'm very, very proud of him for what he's doing in terms of trying to bring back those days of ICC. The other. So thank you so much, Mr. Shoname, for what you are doing. We hope that other rich people in Nigeria will start to take more after you and challenge you and begin to put, just like Abiola Babes and Iwanyanwu National, they ultimately became national treasures. So thank you so much for what you do. I said I was going to give a big shout out to you today and your club for the historic win that you had at the National League. Congratulations again. Now, what we're going to do now, because I have both of my all three power hitters here. Mr. Rogers, thank you for coming back. What I want to do now, because for me, I'm all about the solution. We've taken a long time trying to figure out what are the issues, and I think we have done enough of that. What I want to do right now, I'm looking for for my questions here, because 2 days ago I made a broadcast where I actually talked about some policies. I researched, and I'm feeling that with all these problems that we're having, maybe as part of our agenda, I'm not hiding anything here. I'm the founder of the Nigeria Lives Matter. Nigeria Lives Matter is a non-governmental organization. We're actually also registered with the United Nations and here in the US and also in Nigeria. We are a national mobilization organization. We are non-aligned. We don't support any party. We have our own policy about how we think Nigeria can get better. So we're about to launch our campaign called the Make Nigeria Great Again campaign and publish our manifesto so that every politician in 2027, before they can even ask anybody in our organization to support them, they have to sign up to those manifesto. In other words, that if they win as a governor or House of Rep or whatever, these are some of the policies they will push, regardless of party. I don't care if they're APC or PDP. There is no difference between all of them in my mind. It now comes down to the individual. So what we are doing here, so that I'm being transparent, is that when we are coming up with our manga agenda, one of the pillars that I felt could lead to Nigeria's greatness is sports. And for that to happen, we have to push some policies at our level, whether it's just talking, interviews like this, writing to senators or whatever, to try to implement some of this to help us. But I know what I don't know, that I'm not seasoned in sports. All I've put together is research and brain work, which sometimes may not work when it gets to the field level. So I'm glad I have Mr. Ochonogor here, and I have you here, and I have Mr. Ogunlana. I'm going to run those 7 policy proposals that we are thinking under the sports pillar that we are going to push. Then you can tell me whether this makes sense or does it make sense. Then when we are done with that, if there's still time, you can then give me what you think we should add to our agenda so that we can begin to mobilize the people. We are non-partisan, so feel free to say what you got to say. So here are the policies. Here's the first one. Okay, I'm saying mandatory contribution from foreign clubs. In other words, when foreign clubs sign Nigerians, okay, there should be out of that contract, no matter how little, no matter how small, some of that should be sent to the club, especially those that were groomed by local clubs, that some of that should be sent to the local club as part of their development. What do you guys think? Does that make sense? Do you think it doesn't make sense? I'll let Mr. Shola go first, then we'll go to Mr. Ken, and then we'll go to Mr. Jimmy. What do you think of this as a policy proposal?
The foreign clubs are not domiciled in Nigeria, so I don't know if, except we have something that's pulling them here, that would make us put such a process or policy in place to say that they must, contribute mandatorily. Without mandating them, there was something that Ken Ochonogor said earlier, which is actually what's happening. If you structure your associations or your clubs properly, they already have that system whereby they want to contribute to your development. FIFA has the FIFA Goals Project. The Athletics Federation, they give out grants and funds and stuff. So there's always something there. So I'm not sure that, mandating them is going to be a thing that since they're foreign.
All right, interesting. By the way, it's being done. You are not going to send somebody from China for free. I don't care. It's in their law. If it's a law for Nigerians, the foreign bodies will have no choice. If it's a Nigerian person, I'm saying, assuming we have that. Oh, no. You can mandate it. It will be part of the contract that is signed. If they don't, they can be challenged. At least that's what I think. But Mr. Ken, what do you think of this proposal? Please, let's keep the response to the proposal on the table, not what else you think, unless it's related to.
No, I don't think it is feasible. You can't ask a club to send in FIFA. FIFA has made, Jimmy can clarify this. There is a compensation structure in FIFA. If you sign a player who is under 23, the clubs which he play from the age of 12, to the age of 30, they are compensated. There is amount of money that is given to the club, ranging from $5,000 to $10,000, depending on whatever. So the FIFA has already made it there. So you don't even need only that. Like you mentioned something about corruption the other time. But a lot of what we are saying, we silence a lot of these things, and so that is from its cause. When an academy develops a player, whether in South America or in Africa or whatever, and you move from club C, grade C to grade A, there is amount that is paid. It is clear. So the club is compensated. When the club collects $10,000 or $30,000, depending on how many years they train that child, they pay their tax or they put in a community. So FIFA has taken care of that already. That you compensate them as long as that player is under 23, and that is the thing. So it is already there. Okay? It is already there. Then you don't have to put it in individual clauses on what the club has to give you. No, I don't think that is feasible. It is not.
Okay, now it's an interesting point that you just mentioned. If FIFA already has it for the clubs, the developmental club, to make sure they are compensated, what do you now mean that it's not feasible, that it cannot be done? It's already done. The question is anybody fighting for Nigerian clubs to get their own? Because if it's part of FIFA rules and the clubs are not obeying it, shouldn't our sports ministry or somebody be fighting for that? I don't know. Because what Sola had said was that you can't do that. You just told me FIFA already has it. So my question is, our local clubs getting their money? Okay, sorry, Sola is disagreeing. I'm still coming to you, Jimmy. Okay, Sola, you are disagreeing.
That's not what I said. I'm saying that you do not mandate. There's no need to mandate them. A lot of these clubs are willing to do these things with you and for you. So there's no need to mandate. And you must have something that will attract them. There must be that thing that makes them say, okay, because if you're going to force me to mandatorily contribute to you, what am I getting from you in return?
Yes. Oh, you are getting my talent. They groomed this guy in Aba, who is now a guy that you want to employ.
Your talent is in Cote d'Ivoire. Your talent is in Ghana, and any businessman will go to a place where they're not being mandated. But I'm saying that if you find out, I was vice chairman rugby in Oyo. I do a lot of things with rugby. There are clubs abroad that are offering balls and training materials. These things are already there. It's for you to be able to activate it without a policy that would irk them and make them feel like, oh, what do you mean? We'll go somewhere else.
Well, I think it's already there. Okay, Mr. Jimmy, I'm trying to get to some specific examples now. Mr. Jimmy, go ahead.
Okay, so basically, FIFA already provided for it, just like Engineer Ken did say. It's well provided for, and it's just for the academies here in Nigeria to ensure as much as possible they are duly registered. They have they are on the TMS. They need to register with the NFF, that FFA, ensure as much as possible they are on the TMS, launch their contractuals, every of the documents that actually show that they train the player. So from age 12 to 21, before the end of the season when they clock 23, they have transfer compensation. They also have solidarity mechanism each time they are being transferred. So you may not want to put all of what we are talking about on the foreign clubs that are not necessarily taking players from you. If they are taking players from your academy here in Nigeria, they have to give back to the academy because they are the ones that actually did train them. So I think that's the clarification. And most importantly, let's just go straight to it. Academies in Nigeria, they owe it to themselves to make sure they have prim and proper documentation. Thank you.
All right. Well, I think, thank you for your input on that. We'll put that under the mix and then decide whether we want to push this. Because the reason why I'm coming in from there is because some of my research shows that China, Indonesia actually has it. This is different from the FIFA thing, the FIFA recommendation. This is country specific. Okay, they restrict control of foreign clubs or investors. They insist on domestic clubs unless, they restrict them from getting access to their citizens unless they invest in infrastructure.
The Chinese policy that you're referring to is not limited to sports alone. They won't allow Facebook, they have their own version. They won't allow WhatsApp, they have their own version. So it's not specific to sports. And even in sports, how is it working for China as we speak?
Okay, if it doesn't work well for China, does not mean it can not work well for us. We have better soccer players than China. China don't have Osimhen. They don't have our superstars. But I hear you. Let's go to the second policy proposal before Mr. Ken gets at me now. All right, number 2. This is what I'm thinking. Again, I'm putting it to you guys to see whether it's feasible or not. I'm not a player, but I want to put my agenda together for my Nigeria Lives Matter people. In other words, to ban of public officials from attending foreign club matches, because to me, it's a disgrace to waste public funds for the leaders to prioritize foreign entertainment over national responsibilities. Leaders must set an example by supporting local sports, not spending our money to go watch Arsenal that will lose anyway at the end of the league session. No, it's what I'm thinking. I'm not talking about it personally when they are no longer in government. Whether they want to use their money or not use their money, I'm thinking that they should not be allowed. There's a reason why we don't allow our local government officials to have foreign bank accounts. At least it's in the books. They might circumvent it and not get punished, but it's there. There's a reason why we don't want them to invest in other countries. What about this one? What do you think? We'll let Mr. Ken go on this one for.
If you say don't use government money to travel, to go and watch sport, to go and do whatever it is, I totally agree with you.
That's what I'm talking about.
At least that what I'm coming now. But if a public servant has worked and is due to take his holidays and he wants to go and watch a football match outside, he is free to do so. All over the world, you can't ask a Chinese man or an Englishman to say you want to come to Nigeria to come to Aribubu Festival, to come and watch Inwanwangu play, to come and watch our players play. I say you shouldn't come and watch. I mean, you see, you understand this. When you are putting restrictions, also look at yourself. We are looking for foreign inflow. We are looking for money to come out from abroad, and you are restricting. You are saying the village shouldn't do that, shouldn't do that. Where is the money? We can't even we can't fail. We can't pay salaries. A public servant, that is his fundamental right. If he wants to go and watch football, you want to go and watch rugby, as long as it is with his money. This is my opinion. This is my opinion. You don't gag people. We are not in a gulag. We are in a free state. We are not in a dictatorship. Nobody, we don't work on. So there's a free movement. There's a fundamental human right. You do not tell people. You do not legislate how a man will spend his leave, how a man will spend his leisure. You can't do that. We can't do that. The Americans, you are in America. You don't do it in America. Why would you come do it in Nigeria? You didn't do it in America. Americans can come to watch fishing festival in Nigeria. Do you say go and watch fishing festival in Maryland or in Texas or in any other state in America? It's not done. But it's not done. It's not done.
All right, are you done? Okay. So what I'm saying to you, sir, with all due respect, is that you are not getting the issue here. Okay. When you become a public officer and your job is to develop sports in your country, you are not developing it, but now you find money. I don't care if it's your money to go watch Real Madrid play Barca. No, you cannot do that. If you want to do that, then resign. Resign. Your job is to develop. You keep saying, oh, fundamental human rights is modified based on the circumstance. It's not absolute. Our country is not getting developed because they're able to get that satisfaction of going out there to go watch Arsenal, to go watch a Premier League festival. So it's not about gagging them. And this has got nothing to do with those who are coming here. That's what I'm saying here. I'll feel very mad. Why should my Minister of Sports, even if it's his money, while he's on vacation, go and be enjoying Barca when we cannot enjoy Remo Stars here? There's a reason. Why are you not arguing for the law that says that Nigerian government officials cannot operate a foreign bank account while they're in office? Is it not their money? Do they not have a right to spend their money? If I were to do your argument, there is a fundamental human right to spend their money anyhow. No, there's a reason. There's a state policy behind it. You can't operate a bank account while you are a government official. So same way,
yes,
they develop
spending.
They shouldn't be able to
spending your money is different from having a foreign bank account. Those are two different things entirely. You can spend if you can account for how you got your money. You can spend it the way you want, where you want, how you want. Nobody will restrict you. Don't have a foreign bank account. That is a different matter from spending your money. What if Real Madrid invite a governor in Nigeria to come and watch their match, and through that they have an MOU to come and between Lagos State teams or Kano State teams and Real Madrid for sport development? Will you allow that?
Okay, sir. Let's hear from me. I hear you, Mr. Kenny Shola. I don't know why I keep thinking of you as Kenny Rogers, Mr. Shola Rogers, because I love Kenny Rogers. What's your take on this point?
So this policy banned public officials from attending foreign club matches. So rather than ban them, since we're thinking along this line, I would mandate them either through coercion or support to pick a local team that they will publicly support financially and all of that. Like, picture a scenario where 50 ministers adopt one club from their village or their town or their state or their place of residence. So I won't say don't do your foreign thing, but put in a whole lot into promoting the team in your area. And when people see that, it could actually cause a ripple effect.
I love that suggestion, but again, like I like to stay on point. That is a great suggestion we're going to come to when you are going to give me what you think we should do. And I love it. I just wrote it down. I never thought about that. I thought that's an excellent suggestion for them to adopt a local club that they are supporting or whatever. Awesome. But that has got nothing to do with this issue on the table. But I hear you. I'm trying to understand what works, what doesn't work. Mr. Jimmy Carto, what is your take on this? On this alone, don't give me a different solution that has got nothing to do with this. You understand? So that way, I want to catalog them so that I know what I'm pushing. Mr. Ken is going to give me his own suggestions later because he must have solutions.
Okay.
But do you think this works or not?
Thankfully, I know all of you enough as my guys and mentors, so I understand where Mr. Ken is coming from. I also understand where Dr. Banwo is coming from. Ban may be a very harsh word to use, like as I did mention. You may mandate them, also put some policies. It has to do with the political will. It has to do with the strategic national interest, where you make them realize that look, you have to adopt a club, maybe your boyhood club, your where you reside, wherever your state is. I mean, for someone like His Excellency Atiku Abubakar Atiku, we know he's a big Arsenal supporter, but we don't know where Adama. We have not
No,
really seen him with
no
Adama.
wonder they are losing every year. He's a supporter of Arsenal.
I'm not saying that. The
Let me
president
ask.
is a Man U supporter. The president is a Man U supporter. Okay, you know.
Wait first. So Atiku is a supporter of Arsenal. Now I can see the
Yes.
man needs to change his club, or he needs to go do Man U or something. You know, Arsenal is the Shoroye of the Premier League. They are always coming second. They never win. Sorry, Arsenal fans.
It,
So I don't want to
it
harass
is
you.
no problem, no problem. So we
Okay.
don't, digest so much. So I think I agree with SR, and I also understand where Engineer Ken is coming from when he says you cannot tell people how to spend their money. But I also critically agree with Dr. Banwo to say public officials, they need to watch out for what is best, because we are in times where there's a dire need to resolve the niggling problems in our sports sector, and the only way you can do that is by the optics. What do we see of public officials? Do we see them embracing, do we see them embracing the domestic game? If they're not embracing the domestic game and they are speaking about foreign clubs, it is disservice. So these are things that we need to critically look at and look at what we
All
should
right.
do in terms of solving the issue.
All right. Well, thank you. Let's quickly go to policy proposal number 3 from Niger Lives Matter. And here it is. The in other words, why not introduce? It's a proposal that you guys who know the game will tell me whether it makes sense or not. To introduce a luxury tax on DSTV subscriptions and others that is focused on foreign sports channels and on tickets for viewing centers showing only foreign matches with proceeds directed to Nigerian sports development. And here is what I'm thinking is a justification. Nigerians spend millions yearly on foreign football without growing the local game. So maybe a 10 naira local tax on annual subscriptions by those who get subscription for watching foreign league, okay, could generate billions or millions of naira or billions to fund our youth academies and our stadiums. Because my own theory is that you can love Manchester United, that's okay, but you must also pay small dues to build Eyimba and Remo Stars. What do you guys think? I'm going to go to you first, Mr. Jimmy, this time, because like you're always aligning with your guys. So yeah, now you tell me first, what do you think? Before I call on Mr. Because once Mr. Ken don't talk, everybody will just surrender. I don't agree. So
No, that's not essentially it. I think that luxury tax on foreign soccer viewing is not workable. You see quite a number of people go to viewing centers, and it looks more like these are some of the things, like you have data on your phone, you're able to watch kids. People are just, these are our times critically, so you don't want a situation whereby you want to make things tougher for the average Nigerian fans that just want to take out time, go watch games. And for me, I don't think imposing a luxury tax would bode anybody well. I don't think it's necessary, really.
All right, but remember, this is not on the viewer. This is on those who are collecting subscriptions. Okay, this is on DSTV, multi-choice, and all those people who get subscribers.
They will pass the cost. And that's the problem.
Yes.
Doctor,
So,
they will pass the cost to the viewers.
Of course. Okay. But let's hear from Mr. Rogers. Then we'll go to Mr. Ken. What's your take on this?
I was also going to say that anything you add to it, who is paying? It's the viewers.
That's
It's
okay.
the viewers.
Then let them stop watching foreign soccer then. If they don't
No,
want to pay,
life is not that difficult now.
Oh, it is. It is. If we want to grow our own, that's what they do in America. What do you think tariff is all about? What do you think it's about? What do you
But
think
it's not working. The tariff thing is not working.
Who told you it's not working?
I know. I know it's not.
No, I know
I
it
know.
does because I live here I can see.
Oh, trust me, I'm not an illiterate. I know. We also come and go. I don't have to live there. I go and come back. So, bye-bye. Forget this. Your tariff thing is not working.
Now
It's
we're going to get
the end user that will bear the cost at the end of the day.
Why should Nigeria
You're
charge
putting tariff on
7%?
China, and you're saying that China will pay. It's
So
one
they
of
are
the
not
dumbest things that anybody has ever said in the history of dumb things.
Now you have just taken this into a whole different place that I don't want to go. Let me educate you then,
Let's
sir.
go there, sir. Please. You cannot educate me. No, you cannot. You can only speak your mind, and I will
That's what
speak
I mean.
mine, but you can't
That's what I'm
educate
saying.
me. No,
You
sir,
are
you
not
can't. You can't
educating
educate me, sir.
You keep
No,
making
you
it-
can't educate me at all. No,
All
sir.
right.
No,
Okay,
no,
can I
no,
talk?
no.
We can't talk together. We can't talk together. You want to finish so that I
No,
can
I'm
talk.
just saying that you can't educate me.
All right. And I'm saying-
Can we break the ice on that? Can we break the ice on that? Let me.
Hold on now. Let me respond to him. Again, you need to stop taking things the way we Nigerians take. When I use the word educate, I'm saying I will explain to you.
I'm a graduate
what I
of
see
languages
there.
and literature. It is pure semantics.
Okay, sir.
Do you understand? So you said you want to, you cannot, you can only speak your opinion. Because let me tell you, in a few months' time, I could be right and you could be wrong, and you could be wrong and I could be right. But you can't tell me because Donald Trump is putting tariffs and it is not. It is not working. And so you cannot force people. You can't keep increasing tariffs and thinking that the companies will not pass the cost to the end user. Those businesses are opened to make money. They are not there as a charity. So you put tariff on Super Sports. You think Super Sports will not increase their subscription? Who is paying the subscription?
Are you done?
I am.
Okay. So when I'm saying my own, please try not to interrupt me so that we don't quarrel.
Please go ahead.
I respect you. I let you say. So let me say my piece.
Yes,
when I
sir.
use the word educate, what I meant was that to let you understand the thinking behind the tariff. I'm not saying I'm educating you about anything because you don't understand the thinking from the way you are talking. But if you think you do, let me say what I think is the thinking behind it and what makes sense about it. You keep thinking,
Okay.
a lot of people keep assuming the reason why they keep assuming that keeping prices down is the objective of tariff. That's not it. As a matter of fact, what if I had to tell you that the objective of tariff is to raise prices? Because that is when, so there are two objectives here. Okay. Number one, fairness. Nigeria cannot charge tariff of 30%, 40% to American goods, and then America is charging 1% to American goods, and you are saying that is fair. So based on fairness alone, Mr. Trump is right to say Nigeria, no, you must pay 14.
Not right.
Even if, can you please just wait, sir?
Okay? I'm waiting. It's not right.
Okay. So the 14% that they are saying Nigeria should pay, they are still, their own goods are still paying 30% to Nigeria. So we're actually still charging them more than the charges. That's number one. Number two, and most important reason that a lot of people are not understanding or they choose not to think about, since you say you know everything, maybe you're not thinking about it, is that the objective of tariff is not to reduce prices. In case you guys are confused, the objective is to raise prices because we know, or Trump knows, that they are going to pass these goods to the consumer because he wants American products to be competitive. American products are too expensive because China will use slave labor. They will use child labor to produce stuff at 5 cents. Then they come and dump it in America. Who's going to buy America? Even me. I won't buy America if it's too expensive. But if they eliminate that by making the imported products much more expensive, yes, we, the people, are going to pay the price. I'm fine with it. We're already paying higher prices. I don't have a problem with it. Why? Because American products have to be competitive also. That's what Nigeria is doing. For all the hypocrisy of Nigerians, Nigeria not only just, they didn't even increase tariff, they banned importation of solar so that they can develop their own solar system. And Nigerians will then have mouth to be saying America should not increase tariff to make their own products more competitive. Where are you people coming from? Where is the fairness there? We ban, we don't even increase. We say, we don't even want any of it. Why? Because we want to grow our industry. Do you think that when they ban all those solar, is solar going to get cheaper? No, solar is going to get more expensive. And that's okay. When they banned rice, did the price of rice go down? Or further rice got more expensive? And that's okay because we have to grow our further rice And the price for that is to pay higher prices. That is why I support the tariff. I'm not trying to educate you. I'm just saying understand the thinking behind those who are saying it's okay. We don't know who's right. We don't know who's wrong. And I'm not trying to educate you on what you think you know. I'm just telling you, in case you don't understand the rationale behind the tariff, I just explained it to you. Prices must go up for American products to be competitive. Yes, American consumers will pay, but there's a price for everything. Nigeria is going to pay their own, as far as Sola is concerned. They're going to pay their own, is what it is. And number two, fairness. You can't charge me 30 naira to come to your house, and then I'm charging 1 naira, and I say I want to charge 14 naira, and you're getting mad when I'm still paying you 30. But we are getting distracted. This is the problem. I don't want to do this. When we want to do this issue about importation or whatever, I'll bring Mr. Shola Rogers back, and we can all have it out and box ourselves on this issue of and then we know who educate you. He's educating me on sports now, and I'm not mad. Okay? So, Mr. Rogers, I promise you, I'm going to bring you back when we get to the economy, and we're going to argue some of this stuff, and you're going to be free to go at me any way you want. If we do that now, if we keep doing back and forth, we are going to miss why we are here, which today is sports. I hope it's okay. I'll give you the last word on that before we go to the next policy proposal, so that it's not like I just shut you down and then I move on. I'll give you 2 minutes to come at me, do what you got to do, and we go. Yes.
So,
Right.
so this policy will not in any way, you said left and you pointed right. This policy will not in any way improve Nigerian sports.
Fair enough.
You know,
Fair enough.
There's no way it's going to rub off on Nigerian sports. I said it before when we started. The focus should be on growing our sports, investing in grassroots sports development, putting structures in place, building facilities, empowering trainers, taking it to the schools, to the streets. If you build it, they will come.
All right. Again, you have to understand. I know that you have this your one solution thing, but it's a bouquet of solutions that's going to solve Nigerian tax problem. Before we get to the 70, you will see that thing you are talking about, we already have it. I'm saying now on this issue, if you can just stay with the issues and not keep digressing. So if you have said it doesn't make sense to you, and that's okay, I take that. Mr. Ken, can you weigh in on this? Does it make sense as a policy or it doesn't? Again, before you give me alternative solutions, we are coming to that. We are going to get enough time for you to say, these are my own solution. Right now, this is a policy proposal. It's either you like it or you don't like it, you think it will work, it will not work. Let's stay with that so that we don't fight tariff like Mr. Shola Rogers, who is very angry with Donald Trump right now. And I can see his eyes red. He's about to punch me. So yeah.
No, I don't know how you feel if America says don't play Nigerian music anymore.
That's not what this is.
In 2015, there is a young man in Nigeria who released a track called Shake Body Scales. Shake Body. Then in 2025, a 17-year-old boy, Lamin, with his team, played Shake Body after the victory. And I tell you this, Scales, who was dead, musically and whatever it is, was revived. His music, Shake Body, became the #1 most streamed track in Spain in Spotify. He was invited by Barcelona in the same private jet with the team and the president of Barcelona and all the players. That is what it is. When it is good, it is good. Improve your product, there is no boundary. Do we tell them, okay, Barcelona, you have won. Why are you playing Nigerian music? Why don't you play Spanish music? Does it make sense? It doesn't now. It doesn't. That is what my colleagues are saying.
What doesn't make sense is that you're not addressing the proposal on the table. Who is talking about Shake Body or some music? The proposal on the table.
That is what it is. The same thing we are saying. You don't say take one and put in. You don't let the things you don't legislate. There are things you in trying to do that, you kill it. You've just said here that when they say, okay, fine, ban imported rice. At the end of the day, even the one that are bringing Abakaliki went up. What is the essence of the ban? From 7,000 when it was banned, we are buying over 100,000. So has it solved the problem? Has it?
Ken, can you just take time to read what the question is? Nobody is saying ban anything. I've not said that. The question is, now the luxury tax that we're trying to explain to you, in case you are not listening, okay, is that getting, I don't even know where to start, sir, because you're not listening to me. So I'm just going to move to the next one, okay, because we're just going to keep quarreling here. All right? We have a
Can we go to the next policy? They have addressed it. Let's go to the next policy. They've addressed it. They've addressed it.
Number 4. Please, sir, I'm going to read it. Can we just make sure our comments is on the policy itself? When it comes to when you're going to give your own solutions, I will add it. I'm writing it down. I'm serious. But we can't debate, or rather, you can't help me. I want you to educate me. Me, I'm not mad at being educated. I'm an illiterate. You educate me whether it makes sense, so that when I'm out there trying to push a policy, I don't look stupid. Is why I gathered you guys. So help me out. This proposal that I'm suggesting will be, I like it, I don't like it, I like it for this reason, I don't like it for this reason. Let's keep it like that. So it makes my stuff clean. Compulsory grassroots football funding by state government. What that is, I will explain it a little bit. Okay? In other words, what we are thinking here, again, is a thought. We have not launched the agenda yet. Is mandate every state government to allocate a minimum percentage of their annual budget directly to grassroots development that is monitored, not the one they just talk about, including building mini stadiums, academies, and organizing youth tournaments. And my justification here is that true sports development starts from the grassroots. Without investment in local talents and infrastructure, Nigeria will continue exporting local talents without developing a strong internal sports economy. That you can't harvest champions from barren fields. We have to invest first and celebrate later. That is my thought here. I know that the states have something similar, but this is what I'm suggesting. All right.
It is already in the sport policy from the 2009 sport policy, where it was specified that 5% should be set aside from local government, state government, and federal government, for sports football sport development, not football development, for sports development, for facilities, training, and other things. It is already there in the sport policy, and even the new one, I think the 2021-2022 sport policy, from would move from that rate to this other the guy that moved, the last sport development minister. It was Eno. Yes. So it is already there in the sport policy. So this one, it doesn't need any debate, and we agree with it. It's already there. We've been advocating for it.
That's what I wanted to ask. It can be there, and maybe it doesn't make sense, but you say you agree with it, Mr. Rogers. I'm assuming that you think it's a great idea for it to remain there if it's already there. Or you think it's something that should be taken out, because that could be somebody's suggestion that we should even remove government. Somebody said
I've mentioned it a couple of times myself. Yeah, that's the way to go.
Okay, fantastic.
There's no two ways around it.
All right. Okay, so I like it. At least we get something we finally like. We'll document this one. Mr. Jimmy, do you agree that this proposal should stay?
I'm in concord.
It's already there.
Absolutely.
That is
absolutely
fantastic. We don't need to waste time on that. Then we agree. So let me just make a note of that. At least I know that I have something that guys that I'm going to be needing to push it on their platforms, they at least agree with it. All right, number 5. What we are thinking here is compulsory free-to-air broadcast of Nigerian league matches, assuming, of course, the owners of the league agree to market themselves and to create awareness about their product. Make it mandatory for at least one major international television network to broadcast a minimum of 2 Nigerian Premier Leagues every weekend, and work out a deal with the owners where they pay them some money to be able to air their stuff. And my own justification here, my thinking, and let me know if it's wrong or not, is people cannot fall in love with what they cannot see, and we have been saying that over and over. Visibility drives popularity. Consistent live broadcasts will build fan loyalty and attract corporate sponsorship to the Nigerian league. What say you, Mr. Rogers? Oh, you didn't hear me.
It's a good idea. It's a good thing. The more eyeballs you can get on the league, the more broadcast that the league gets, the more business you can attract on the long run.
All right.
And that would also help with curtailing any illegality that people might be planning at the league venues.
Okay, thank you for that education, Mr. Ken. What's your take on that? Good idea, bad idea, great. What do you say? What do you say?
Even when there was a time that the broadcasting corporation BON were showing these foreign matches, the EPL matches. Sola, I remember all that times, early 2000, that we go to NTA studios to go and do all this analysis. They give us band C. There is no time they are going to show you Manchester United versus Liverpool. It's not Manchester versus Birmingham or Liverpool. So there are two band C matches that they bring out. So we can also do that because it is the broadcast right that the league will get their money, which they will share with the clubs. So if it's okay, fine. If you want to watch Remo Star versus Rivers United, or you want to watch Enyimba versus Shooting Stars, these are the top teams in the league. This is how much you are going to pay. Arsenal, Manchester United can never be on the free. Liverpool, Man City can never be on the free. So these are your premium. They are on premium bands. But the other, if a band A team is playing the band C team, of course, can put on free on air and then show it. But we must understand this, that we must be able to pay. When our governors and everybody go to the stadium and make it free for people to enter, you are devaluing. But some people want to popularize it, so there is a price to pay. So you need to balance it anyway and do it. But all of them cannot be free. There must be premiums.
I don't even know if you listen to me when I say these things. Nobody has said go to stadium and watch for free. How can I say that? Okay, that's not what we are talking about.
No, I agree. You don't get what I said. Sometimes can you listen to us at least? Sometimes we get what we are saying. I just gave that as an aside. That when governors pay for free, people are supposed to pay to go and watch it. That's what I'm telling you. But I've explained here that you have band A, band B, band C. That it is the broadcast right that the clubs are supposed to get money. If the league board does not collect money, what money will they share? It's not just whatever it is. Part of where the major source of income that comes in is from broadcast rights. So if you make it for free to air for people to go and watch, how would they make the money? How? So you can make some matches free to air. That's what I'm saying. When the top teams are playing the bottom teams, that whatever you can make it. But when the premium teams are playing, they say you don't make it free to air. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. It's like we're educating ourselves here.
Yes, you are even educating me. I'm taking the education. You know me, I like to learn. I'm a student. But what I'm saying, but I hear you, okay? What I'm trying to say here, the fact that it's free to air does not mean somebody is not paying, sir. NBA is free to air in America here. Okay? The NBA, they are in the playoff right now. It is free to air. But somebody is paying. So what do you mean? Okay? What I said is not that they should go and carry people's game and start playing. When I say if government says they must air, even Premier, in fact, it's the Premier one that should be, the Premier matchups that should actually be free to air. Because that's what more people will see. But then
where will you get the money? Where will you get the no? See, you don't understand these things. That is why you brought us here because you believe we understand it. But if you don't want to understand what we are saying, I don't think that we are communicating. The clubs are run as a business concern. You don't use taxpayers' money to run the clubs. You don't say because you want to put it on a premium, you can't make it for free. Can you be that? It is a product, for goodness sake. So if that is, even you say what I'm trying to tell you, we are discussing here so you can understand the fundamentals on which this is run. You don't put premium things on free to air. Even the NBA talking about, we pay for the NBA to watch it here. That is why when DSTV go to buy the franchise, they increase how much we're doing there. They're not getting it for free. That is where they'll share the money. Every year they will tell you how much they share TV money in the EPL. Go and check from the beginning to the end. It is the broadcast right that get the money. Even the MPFL, when they were DSTV before they have the issue, that is where they share the money from. Which sponsors? I mean, how much beer, Super Eagles beer, or Super Eagles airline, or Super Eagles? How much do they bring in at the end of the day? It is the broadcast that is the main source of income. So you don't put it on free on the premium. It is not done. You're killing the league if you do that.
Okay, I've heard you, and I hope you will also hear me. You are educating me, but also hear from those of us who are not in the industry. Maybe because you are inside it, you are close-minded about what issue happen. So it's both ways. I'm hearing you, but I want you to hear me. You are working under a very wrong premise, with all due respect, to say that premium events, premium matches should not be put on free to air. The Super Bowl is the biggest event in the world. It is free to air. Let me just finish. So don't tell me that you can't put premium events on free to air. Once you mandate it, then they have to go negotiate and pay the league. They're going to pay. DSTV will have to pay once they now know that they've been mandated that you have to play this thing on your channel. Because as a business person, if I own DSTV, I'm not going to spend premium money for Nigerian soccer that I don't think is going to get me the views. Right, I get it. That's what business people are. But if it is the law, just like we have the law in many things, they can't do this, they can't do this, they have to do that. We have a lot of that. So, but if they are not mandated that Nigerian League playoff, that all of it must be on free to air. Nowadays, see, it doesn't mean free to air does not mean it's free. Okay, it simply means then now Nigerian DSTV and Co. Now they have a problem. They have to go work out a deal with the local league to be able to show their stuff. Now, if they're not being unreasonable, let's say local league, because it's a law now, they then want to squeeze them and finish their business, then NBC can get involved and make sure that the deal is fair. It's what is happening in America. We are watching. I just told you keep saying you can't do that. In fact, Premier, the more if the broadcasters even know what they are doing, contrary to what I say, is the opposite you would do. You put the best matches on free to air, because then you get more adverts, then you get more negotiation power. That's what they do in America. The playoff is free on NBC. The NBA finals.
No. You are misleading us. You are misleading us, sir. With all due respect, there are only 2 networks that broadcast it, that have the right to broadcast it. Others take from them. The Super Bowl is not broadcast free. Please check. Please check. There are only 2 networks in America that have the right to broadcast the Super Bowl. You are missing. Please check. With all due respect, please check. Please check.
Okay, I get you, sir. Just calm down. Again, listen to me. NBC is free to air. Is it not? CBS is free to air. Is it not? And that is where we watch Super Bowl. That is where we watch NBA playoffs. So don't say I'm misleading. Anybody can Google it. They don't show it on premium channels because they're smart. They know that billions of people will watch the free to air, so their adverts cost $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million for Super Bowl. And what I'm saying to you that maybe you're not hearing me is that if that is the regulation, now DSTV will have to go negotiate with the club owners to be able to have the rights, or they will bid for it. Yes, just like Premier League in Nigeria is now open to everybody. You go and bid in London, then they give it to the best 2 or the best 3. That's how ITV was able to get it. Okay, so same way. Then at that point, they will go, they open it for bidding, Nigerian Football Association or whatever the club owners are. Then they will then make these people bid for it. Just like we bidded for Premier League. Premier League, most of it is free to air in London. Do they show Premier League as premier events in London? It's free. We've all been to London. But you that is abroad that want to show it, you bid for the rights. And I'm saying Nigeria, under this, okay, it becomes okay to make this thing available for Nigerians to watch. You, as a channel that is doing subscription, this club, so that you don't go and bury it in some channel that nobody will watch, that it has to be in your premium channel to put it there. Then you go negotiate. At that point, they will then be forced to go look for adverts. They will not be forced to really do it as a business because there's a regulation. That's why you do regulation. Regulation is what guides the growth of any industry. We have it in law, we have it in medicine, we have it everywhere. Why shouldn't we have it in sports? If they put that in place, all of a sudden this game changes. Because now the sports owners, now they have money. That's why NBA can share plenty billions every year. That's why they can pay their stars well. Because they have TV broadcast rights with chosen, not every TV station can do it. You bid for it. But the viewers watch it for free. That's what I'm telling you. And if you say I'm lying there, then you don't know what you are talking about. Because NBC shows Premier League for free. They show Super Bowl for free. but it does not mean that it's free to them. They have to pay for it because they go and negotiate with the NBA. So NBA has money to grow itself. NBA has money to pay better players. If they do that to Remo Stars people, okay, where they have to negotiate and pay them money to be able to show them, because it's the law now that they have to show some choice matches in NBA, this game will change. But if we keep thinking, oh, they can't put Remo Stars versus Eyimba, assuming that they are the two best, I don't know who is, that they shouldn't show it on free to air, then that is what is killing the game. Because how many people are buying cable? How many people have money to pay DSTV? But if they have it free on air and everybody is watching, it will catch on, but it doesn't mean it's free. I hope I've been able to explain myself. If you still don't get it, I don't know what to do now. It is not free to air, does not mean it is free to the owners of the rights. The owners of the rights are the clubs, the channels have to go negotiate and pay them money. Okay, because this is what is happening. The DSTV and multi-choice. I can say that as a copyright guy. I may not know about sports, but the reason why our musicians are not getting their due in Nigeria before is that a multi-choice and co are not being forced to pay royalty for playing the music. We just got billions of naira from multi-choice, from MCSN. I'm a director of MCSN. We had to sue them over Two-Face Idibia's song, and they paid us billions, not millions, out of court just last year. So because they are not being forced to pay royalty, they're doing whatever they want. But now, if it is the law, and now you have to go negotiate with the owners.
See, let us just keep us there. The phone network pay about $1 billion to NFL to order to show the NFL matches and the Super Bowl. They pay as of 2023. Check that figure. I'm quoting here. It's about $1 billion that they pay to the NFL. So okay, when you guys say whatever, so they pay it and then they get their money. So they are not. It is not given them as free. So if you want to show the league, you also pay the the league board, the MPFL league board, so that you can now have the right to go and show it. But the same can be free for. Is what we are saying.
That's what I've been saying, sir. You are not listening. That's what I've been saying. They are never going to carry somebody's soccer and be showing it for free now. They have to pay them, but we, the consumers, the fans who need to fall in love with this, should be able to watch Premier League final for free, on free air. That's when millions of Nigerians will see it. How they do that, how they pay for it, that's their problem.
Mr. Okpe, I spent part of my days in the UK. In the UK, you don't watch any Premier League match for free. You don't watch it. You don't unless you subscribe. In the United, that's what I'm listening to me now. You see, that's what I'm saying. If you are in UK, you don't watch those matches for free. You don't watch any match for free in the United Kingdom. You don't. You don't watch any match.
So I'll take your word.
I live at least half of my days yearly right there in the United Kingdom. So I'm giving you fact here that you don't watch it. You must pay. You must pay to watch any of their league games. If you don't do another way, they will arrest you.
Okay, and I hear you. Their league is very developed, but I'm talking about America now. Their league is not as developed as UK. But so they are showing it free to air. To watch Dallas Galaxy and all those places is free to air, because that is how you create a. In fact, you just buttress my point. UK can afford to say it has to be Premier because they are already global. Everybody wants them. But when you are trying to grow an industry that nobody is interested in yet, the way you entice people, and I'm talking as a marketer now, is not to make it premium. Why are you making Nigerian League premium that nobody even wants to watch to start with? Right? Why will I pay a subscription to watch Nigerian soccer? It doesn't even make sense from the point of view of the fan. But if it is free to air and I watch it and I get in love with stationary stores, then maybe at some point, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, it can then become a premium product. Nigeria right now, the reason why nobody is seeing it is that it's not available. And if it's not available, anyway.
Sorry, I'm sorry, Mr. Okpe, but can we speed this up so that we've been so that we can move on? I'm about to be on the road. You understand?
My apologies. I will just take from. Let's just make it 2 minutes. I'll try not to interject so much. We have only 2 more to go. I'll just hear your opinion about it. If you also can keep your opinion focused on the issue, then we will have the digression. Mr. Shola Rogers, what's your take on this? Yes or no, good or bad?
I already spoke now. I already spoke about this.
Okay.
And I
Let's
said
go to
more
6.
eyeballs.
Okay.
I already spoke.
Sorry.
It's a good idea.
Okay.
It's a very good idea.
Okay, thank you, sir. All right, let's go to number 6. Proposal number 6. National honors for Nigerian. I think this one's probably, what I was thinking here is that the more of our players that we honor, not necessarily the old ones, even some of the more current ones, the more we bring attention to. That should be easy. Take on that, Mr. Kent.
Of course, we should honor the labor of our heroes past shall not go in vain. It's not a national anthem.
Okay.
It's not a national anthem. So that is straightforward. That is straightforward. Nothing to add. That is straightforward.
All right, Mr. Rogers, anything on this one?
No, nothing at all.
All right. Finally, let's look at number 7. Number 7 proposal. Then we just end with you guys giving me what you think, because this is just me who doesn't know much about this. You guys really have the solutions in your mind. So I want to take time to get at the 7 policy proposal that we have on the table now is mandatory retention of economic rights by local clubs. What that meant is that we are saying to mandate Nigerian clubs transferring players abroad must retain a minimum of 5% future sell-on rights. They call it sell-on rights in the players' contract to ensure that they get benefit from future transfers so that they can spend more energy developing these people. And I think the justification here is Nigerian clubs lose out completely once their players rise in value abroad. Retaining sell-on rights provide long-term income to strengthen local clubs financially. I don't know whether that is too esoteric or makes no sense. That's why you are here. What do you think, sir? Mr. Ken, you first, 2 minutes. Then we'll go to Mr. Rogers.
Well, like I said earlier on about the FIFA has already taken care of that. Your national laws do not infringe on whatever the rules of the game. There are ways set out compensation. Whether it is already there for you to train the trainer. We touched it earlier on. So when you do a selling clause, it has to do with the clubs that train or the clubs that are moving on. It's a personal contract. That is why most things happen. People just go to a cast to go and trash it out. There are things that are anti-trade that you cannot put in there. It is already there, sell-on clause. It depends on how you negotiate with your team. It's a very good thing. If you cannot sell immediately, it's make that if there is a potential for that player, to blow. Give me 2 naira today. When you sell, I will collect so and so. So it's a very good thing for them to put it on. Sell-on clause is a beautiful thing from developing leagues like ours. When you want to go to players want to go to Europe, it's a very nice something.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, Mr. Shola Roger, what's your take on this?
Yeah, it already exists, but maybe what is lacking is awareness about it, create more awareness and everything. But the end product is to empower the clubs at the end of the day and the academies. So,
all right. Okay, now we get to really the most important part. That is just me with that knowledge talking. Now we are looking to put policies together that we can pursue and put our politicians under pressure about, whether it's APC, PDP, whatever. Now I'm going to throw it at you. You have been at this game for a long time. There's some stuff that have been frustrating you. There's some stuff you are frustrated about that you wish will happen or government will do. Here is the opportunity now. So we go to Mr. Ken 1, we go to Mr. Rogers 1, then we come back. That way we can get as much of what is you think should be the solution in this industry, so that way we can learn from you. I'm going to get it, and I'm going to then because from even discussion today, I've seen that a couple of our policy ideas don't make sense. We're going to take those ones out and put in some that we think. I may argue a lot, but I listen. You may think I don't. I'm listening to you guys. What will not work will not work. I will be a foolish man to come into an industry that I know nothing about and be pushing ideas that those who are practicing say don't make sense. So let me hear from you, sir. Mr. Ken, we'll go with you first. And for those of us at home, if you have any ideas that you think should be part of what we are pushing for in Nigerian soccer and sports, please type it on the chat. I read everything, we copy it out, then we go back to our debate and then decide which one of them will be on our platform when it comes to sports as we begin to mobilize people on how to get their best candidates in 2027. Mr. Ken, first shot for you. Yes.
It is very simple. The fulcrum on which it's sport development develops, like I said, it is funding. And what are you funding? You are funding facilities. You are funding facilitators. So if you put the product, the facilities in almost every ward, every local government, and then you train those who are, the trainers, those who are going to train them, whether it's in boxing or in football, any other thing. And then, so that is just it. No other thing is involved. Get the fund, get the facilities, and get the facilitators. So that is just it. And every other thing is, it's just an addition.
Okay, Mr. Rogers, what would you? I'm just looking for all the points here. So go with your first one. What do you think should be a solution to Nigeria's
sports? It's structured along the lines of elite sports and grassroots sports. We should focus more on grassroots sports development, which becomes the conveyor belt and the grounds where you can now tap into to create elite sports products. Sports is a big industry and it can earn a lot from the country, but we must invest. First, invest in grassroots sports development. We must, for instance, for free, I'll tell you, the Nigerian Institute for Sports should be upgraded into a university by now. We should have a sports university. People should go there. There's an entire value chain in sports, from sports medicine to the apparels that they wear, to the merchandising, to the players themselves, to the sports academies. We cannot continue to allow just every Tom, Dick, and Harry start a sports academy. We must help the ones that are serious and remove the ones that are fraudulent. So, regulation, but invest in grassroots sports development. You can't go wrong. It helps with health. People start to live healthy lives. It helps with their earnings. People start to earn. Then people realize, again, sports, not football, sports. Even in football, our focus is on 11 aside. There is 5 aside football, futsal. There's beach soccer. There's women's sports that is being relegated, and they're one of the best talents that we have in this country. So,
can you help me out? Well, hold on, sir. Right. I wanted to state one. You've said about 5 things, and I'm trying to write it down. I'm missing some of it. One at a time. Hit it maybe for 1 or 2 or 3 lines. Then give me a second one, a third one, because you are talking as if it's one. But what you have mentioned is about 4, and they're very important. You talked about sports university. You talk about value chain. You talk about a regulation of academies. Those are like 4 proposals right there. So if you can just pinpoint them for me so that I can develop it further, I would really appreciate it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Grassroots sports development, again, should be the fulcrum. That's where our power and our focus should be on. That's the only place where we can actually reach more people. How many people are going to make it to the Super Eagles? At maximum, they can only have 23 players at any time. But if you develop grassroots sports, some players will play for their states, they'll play for their schools, they play for their streets and their neighborhoods. So we must do everything to create that conveyor belt.
So now I get you. Grassroots sports development, that looks like number 1 here. It's wanted to say, we must develop it. I want you to give me like specific, maybe 2 or 3
facilities. Okay. Facilities. We need sporting facilities in every nook and cranny. I always tell people, when you're flying into the UK, when you're flying into London, and you look out the window, you will see stadium after stadium after stadium and sports facilities. In the whole of Lagos, we have only one Olympic-side swimming pool. in the whole of
Really?
Lagos. Only
Really?
one. Yes, there's
Wow.
only one.
Wow.
Only one.
Okay.
So, and
Wow.
you want to win medals. There are more medals in swimming than you have in all these team sports.
And that's true. That's true. There's a lot more medals in swimming than everywhere else.
32,
You're correct.
32 gold, 32 silver, 32 bronze.
I didn't even know that. 32, Jesus. Okay, just on swimming.
Yes.
Wow. Okay,
So
facility development. What else?
redirect your focus away from the elite sports that is so well, that's football, and focus on the team sports and also individual sports. But facilities must be created in every. We have schools that don't even have playing grounds anymore. We used to play table tennis on the street. You see, the thing about sports is that the entry point is important. The low hanging fruits is what people go for. In football, if without a ball, you can actually roll things together and start kicking it. So, sports equipment and facilities. Now, if we invest in that or make it conducive for people to manufacture, you're creating more jobs that way.
Okay, value
You're
chain.
creating more
Awesome.
jobs. So the value chain is immense. On match day, people go there to sell their products and everything. So imagine if there is a league in boxing, there's a league in wrestling, there's a league in table tennis, and these leagues are localized. They are localized in the regions, from the region to the states, from the states to the local government, from the local government to the wards. Do you see how many people you are going to get involved? Do you see how many people are going to be living healthy? Do you know how many table tennis boards you would have to manufacture? How many balls? How many bats? And across sports. Invest in this and you will get your returns because elite sports will pay you. It will pay you. But without the talent, that's why look at our Eagles. And I'm not against that, but people have developed talent for us. That's why we go begging, cap in hand. Please give us Iwobi. Let him play for us. Please, Saka, come and play for us. Those guys were developed by a system. So we need to be that because the talent is here. The talent is in far-flung places of Nigeria. Will you guys stop that now? So the talent is there. We have the talent. We have everything. What we need is to create the enabling environment. And one of the first things is facilities. Sporting facilities everywhere. I noticed it in America too. At every junction, there's a sports center, there's a baseball diamond, there's a basketball court, and there's soccer pitches everywhere. So invest in facilities in the schools and in the streets.
Awesome. Now, 100%. I'm making notes. I appreciate you so much. You are now educating me seriously. Mr. Jimmy Carto, do you have any before? I know that we are way past our time. I want to try to wrap up now, but I'm trying to get all those stuff out of Mr. Rogers and Mr. Ken who bounced out. What we are doing now is just coming up with ideas from you guys. Me, I'm just writing notes now. I'm not debating. I want to learn what are the things I should be pushing for. If I want to push for solutions to sports in Nigeria, what are the things that will work? And that's what Sola Rogers is educating me on, and I really appreciate it. So do you have any to point out, because we're just going back and forth?
Yes,
yes, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
So basically, there's been a lot of talk about the national sports policy, a lot of summits, a lot of conferences, but all of these documents, they seem to just gather dust on the cabinet. There is a need for thorough implementation where we have the 5% that's supposed to be budgeted for, sporting infrastructure. Is very important for us to use that to address the infrastructural deficit we have nationwide. It's not just in like Gomez did say. He talked about the Olympic swimming pool. Look at all over Lagos State. You have our infrastructure, the stadium in Agege, the stadium in Igbogbo, Bagada. They are not functioning at the moment. So how are you going to get that mass engagement? So one of the solutions to this malaise will be that there should be mass engagement. And the only way we can have that is by some of the things you have actually pinpointed. You talked about the fact that the Nigerian government, through the different tiers, they have to be strategic about, national interest to make sure that sports as a policy is being adopted for the re-engineering of the Nigerian society. If you don't do that, a lot of political will has got to come into play. If you don't do that, you're not going to have solutions. There must be some very, very, seemingly outrageous decisions that will be taken. They will look outrageous, but they are workable.
It's those decisions I'm asking for. But I'll let Mr. Rogers go last year because thank you again so much for your patience and for stomaching my disruptive type of interview. I appreciate your professionalism, sir. So I'll pass it back at you. Do you have any more things that you parting ideas for me? Somebody who wants to talk about make Nigeria great again, and for the sports industry, because you are heavily respected there and you obviously love Nigerian sports. What else would you like to share for those who might, because they will watch this? I'm going to run paid adverts for it and stuff like that because I want government to hear what we are talking about on this issue. I'll pass it back at you, so I'll continue to make notes. Thank you, sir. Any other specifics that I have not mentioned?
Now, one of the things that we noticed in sports is you started off, with your focus on the media, and if there's a way to empower the coverage and reportage, beyond sports broadcasting, for instance, there are specifics in sports broadcasting that are not taught in broadcasting school. So we must be able to inculcate those things or integrate it into the curriculum, either in the broadcasting schools or in the sports university, where you know that you are training people and you are developing them specifically for this role. Now, if we are able to churn out skilled sports coverage and enthusiasts and practitioners, that means more content. More content means more eyeballs and more information. And before you know it, the whole place is inundated. There's images everywhere. There's videos. There's everything. So that should also happen. Somehow it has to be done, because we play around with. I noticed it and I started laughing. We play around with sports a lot. Radio stations will start a sports program and they will tell the presenter, you have only 5 minutes. You have only 15 minutes. The news at 10 on all these Nigerian TV stations. Sports will come last, 2 minutes.
And that's the most important for most Nigerians. That's what most Nigerians.
That's it. That's what they are missing.
Yes.
So
correct.
If we start to create it and push it and package it, you will have no choice. 100%. People outside Nigeria, they're asking us. I remember there was a guy that we were going to start something. He was based in America. He was based in America, and we were working on something that would have brought this kind of content out. And the reason he showed me his feedback when he came to Nigeria for just 2 weeks, and that's just him on his own small level. So imagine if we can now create it en masse.
You're correct. I wish that the people make the decisions that they are listening, because these are the people who do this thing on a daily basis, and they are telling you guys
they're not going to listen. Look, they're not going to listen.
Why?
No, as in the reason why they have not listened. Do you think for someone like me now, I have given out free proposals? People will be like, wow. All the things I'm telling you tonight are things that I should hold and try to look for a way. No, I'm done. I'm pushing it out. Pushing it out so that we can get change.
Yes,
so
I hear you.
The few ones that we have, we sit down with them. We even send proposals to them to say, do this. This is a legacy project.
And they don't want to do it.
They just want to focus on elite sports and Esther code and be seen, doing the job of a coach while you are also supposed to be in the stand. They want the eyeballs that elite sports, which is basically Super Eagles and Falcons, will bring. It's not glamorous now for them to go to Otiskum or Damaturu to say there is a Dampe
That's
competition.
exactly.
But we do it.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Shola Rogers. Thank you so much, Mr. Jimmy Carto. Last words before we close. I've taken more than an hour of the time I told you I'm going to take, but this is so much fun. And you can see we're having literally thousands on just one channel. We have 100 and something people who are listening now, even after 4 hours. On another one, I'm seeing 217. We are live on about 5 different platforms. Nigerians are interested in sports. And I feel that is what can actually, more than anything else, that can bring us together faster. So closing words before I shut it down. Mr. Carto, I'll give you 1 minute. Then we'll let Mr. Rogers give his closing thoughts. Then I'll shut down the broadcast. Thank you guys so much for your time tonight. Jimmy Carto, thank you for making this happen. There's no way I will have been able to reach Mr. Shola Rogers and invite him. At least now I know him. Now I can call him tomorrow. Because he wanted to come and fight this tariff fight. Because I will call him. We have to talk about it at some point. Yes. Okay. Well, so thank you so much for coming. I really, really appreciate that. Jimmy, thank you so much for bringing Mr. Ken and Mr. Shola here. I really appreciate you. You have made some really bonus points with me now as my boy, right? You have done a great job. I will see you when I come. But closing comments, Jimmy, go ahead.
All right, thank you, Doctor. The Make Nigeria Great Again is something that has to work, and it starts with sports. Sports is very vital to re-engineer the Nigerian society. So we are in sync with you. We are in alignment with you. And trust us. Whenever you do need us, we'll be here again. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much. Mr. Rogers, your parting comments. You have a lot of fans out there. I'm looking at what is happening on LinkedIn and YouTube. But go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Yes. So sports, to me, is one of the best things that could have happened to Nigeria if Nigeria knew. But it's not too late. You can take a kid from the dungs of Olusosun, that's Osimhen, to the world. Everybody's talking. Do you know how many Osimhens we have out there?
I swear. So, I'm telling you.
Sports should not be seen as something for the boys anymore. It should be seen as something that will make Nigerians healthy and wealthy. Like, you will make money, but you must first invest. You must invest. Sports is a tool for empowerment. Please, let's stop playing with sports.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much, guys. There you have it. From those who should know, and I've been very well educated tonight, and I'm glad I put this show together, because otherwise I would have been pushing some policies that even people like Shola Rogers will say, is this one mad? What is he talking? What is he doing? So that's why I do my homework. When I get to the issue of banking, I'm going to call bankers. I want to hear what they think is the solution to their problem, so that you are not just championing stuff that don't make sense simply because it makes sense to you as you are sitting now, and me, I'm thinking, do all this research, and they are looking at me that, what is this one talking about? It wants to tariff what? So I hear you guys so much. Thank you. What we do is that once we are done here, we are going to cut this into segment pieces, and I'm going to try to push it out over the next 1 week before my next show. So I appreciate you guys so much for coming in here. Guys at home, I want to tell you guys this. Okay, guys at home, as you are watching me right now, before I let my guests go, Nigeria can rise again. I believe that with all my strength. Not because I'm in diaspora. I don't join people in diaspora to just say Nigeria is trash. Nigeria can rise if we support our government. It don't matter whether we agree with the result of the election. This is what I keep telling people. Everybody knows where I stood where the election was concerned. I was an obedient, even though I'm not anymore. I'm just non-aligned right now. I want to just be for Nigeria. But election is over. We have a country to run. We have a president that is there. The best we can do is support him when he's doing good. When he's not doing good, we drag him a little, but we wish our country well, because the failure of Nigeria is not going to be the failure of Bola Tinubu. The failure of Nigeria is not going to be the failure of APC. It's the failure of all of us. So we have interest in making Nigeria succeed. When it comes to election time again, everybody can go support whoever they want and change the government if we don't like it. But between elections, this is where I stand, and my obedient friends like to drag me. This is where I stand. I'm for Nigeria. Now we have a president. Whether we disagree, I got there or didn't get there is irrelevant. He's making decision for your life right now. He's deciding how you will feed your family. So it makes no sense to just be dragging him and hating everything he's doing. You have to support where it's good. Come up with ideas that are better. So that way, when election time comes, our politicians will have options. And then we too will have options. Who we want to support. If you are not out there to support what we support, then screw you. We don't want to support you. That to me is how to engage. There's no need to be down on Nigeria. When you are down on your country, the only thing that will happen is down. I'm being sincere. You attract the way you talk about your country. You attract the way you feel about your country. So I'm saying, Nigerians, let's not be down. Yeah, things are down, but we don't have to be down. We have to keep being positive because that attracts positivity. So I'm going to close this show right now as I thank my guests for being here with the special song. You know, I got a lot of songs for Nigeria, and that's what I do. I'm in the AI space now. Now I don't even need musicians to help me create music. I don't need anybody to sing for me. I can sit on my system, think about the lyrics of what I want, and then produce the song, get a musician to sing it, all of them AI. On another day, we'll talk about the impact of AI, how it can help us to be great again. Why? Because AI is new. We can join the game right now. Nobody is leading. We can join the game and still be able to help our country in tremendous ways. But today, we talked about sports. And we've examined, you can see that I put everybody under pressure. I was argumentative deliberately so that these guys who know, Ken is one of the biggest names in the game. Sola Rogers is one of the most respected names. They've been able to speak out. And hopefully, those of us who are watching this, our leaders, those of us who are fans, you know where you need to start putting pressure. But Nigeria should not cry. This is not for time for crying. This is a time to be open that things will be better. So I'm going to play as I close the show tonight, my song, No Muguland, No Cry, because everything is going to be all right. We just all have to work together to make sure our country is great again. Enjoy. When I come back, I'll close the show.
No Muguland, no cry. No Muguland, no cry. Oh, Muguland, no cry. No Muguland, no cry. 'Cause I remember when we used to sit under the old trees, wide embrace. They split us up with words of hate. Yeah, turned tribes to tools they could replace. Oh, they stoked the fire, watched us burn, while children cried from hunger's pain. They sold our future for their gain, left us stranded in the rain. No Muguland, no cry. No Muguland, no cry. Oh, my people, don't shed no tears. No Muguland, no cry. I remember when they preached of peace, with silver tongues that spread their lies. Promised us fields where we could grow, yeah. But greed left empty bowls and sighs. Oh, their pockets full, their hearts so cold. They didn't care if we survived. They used our fears to take control, while their children only thrived. No Muguland, no cry. No Muguland, no cry. Oh, my people, don't shed no tears. No Muguland, no cry. Their ambition sees no vision, just the crown and hollow fame. They divide us with their blindness, but we won't play that game, yeah. And while we mourn, everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright now. Everything's gonna be alright. No Mugaland, no cry. No Mugaland, no cry. Oh, my people will stand so strong. No Mugaland, no cry. Said, oh, Mugaland, don't shed no tears. No Mugaland, no cry. We've seen their grief, we've felt their chains. No Mugaland, no cry. No Mugaland.
All right, that's it for today, people. I appreciate you guys so much for being here, for watching us tonight. And if you are watching the recording later, please put in your comments. Let's all share our ideas about how we can make our country better. And it is a shared responsibility, not just for the politicians alone. You and I, we have a stake in a better Nigeria. And I look forward to seeing you as we begin to chase this Make Nigeria Great Again agenda, forcing our politicians from APC to PDP to Labour to wherever they come from. They need to start adopting policies that will make our country great again. Again, you've just been watching Banwo live, unplugged and unscripted, as we begin to fight for our nation again. God bless you. I will see you on the next show. Good night.